It is another corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Hey, Sam.
Hi.
Butler is in the other room. We lost one of our satanic blood-eyed fish.
No,
I
saw that.
we already lost one.
My God.
And he was Butler pointed it out. Butler
hated those fish, so
Well,
we should check the cameras.
I feel like that is
this is sus.
I feel like that is a harsh word, hatred. I don't think he hated them. He
used the word, I hate those fish with the red eyes.
Well, he didn't. Oh, he did say, okay, he said it like that. Well, I mean, I don't think he can stop the fact, though, that he is probably their best friend. He's been over there. He tends to them. He's always, looking after them. And he's the one that told me that deep in the back of the fish tank, there is a tiny skeleton being devoured by the crabs, the tiny crabs that seemingly disappear and come with the wind. I don't know. They come and go as they please in the studio. It's very odd.
It is more efficient when one of your comrades die.
And you eat them.
That you just eat everything about it, like his bones and everything. There's no trace of their existence.
No, I was thinking about that, and I was going to save this for the Friday Free Show. We have a guest we're going to get to in just a little bit, and she is a professional storyteller and has been for a very long time. And you know that you are my favorite storyteller. I say that all the time. You get weirded out when I pay you a compliment, but Tom is my favorite storyteller. He tells great stories. But let's go back to the crabs eating the dead friend. I feel like that's what's happening right now with the probate vultures who are calling me every day to try and steal everything from my mother, who just recently passed away.
I do feel like about probate court.
There are crabs trying to devour my entire family right now. So I think in a weird way, at least fiscally, it's exactly the same in the human kingdom.
Everybody should get a trust. I
don't trust anybody, Tom. I don't trust anybody.
So we got a guest.
Yeah, we got a guest on the line, and her name is Alice Fairfax. She has the Story Maven podcast. I'm gonna pot her up right now, and she tells proper stories and has been telling proper stories, Tom, for 20 years. Worked at a place down the road here you might know of, Disney, and was a professional Disney storyteller for quite some time. Alice, welcome to the program, and thanks for being our guest.
Well, thanks so much. I'm so glad to talk to you guys.
And you have a podcast called Story Maven Podcast, and I passed it around last night. Sam was listening to it. I took in the trailer and started listening to your latest episode. Tell us a little bit about your show and kind of how you decided to start your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you said, I was a Walt Disney World actor and storyteller for over 20 years, and I was doing audience interactive improvisational shows. And I was also a holiday storyteller. If you wandered by fake Germany, I was a fake German storyteller.
Sam and I know exactly who you are. All right. Well, that is one of my favorite stories. I know exactly. Okay. And you heard correct. We have used the term, and one of the reasons why I was excited to talk to you, we use the term improvisational conversation to kind of describe what we do. Because we don't really have a way. We don't really, obviously we don't script it. It would be a lot better if we did.
We're not giving you any pertinent information or reliable information or even factual information.
But we are telling a tale, and we are doing a lot of yes and back and forth and telling our tale to our listeners. So when I saw you send an email about how you've started this podcast and hopefully helping some of our friends that are working entertainment out at Disney that are out of work and need the help right now, and you're bringing some of these experts, I mean, because you can't improv a story at Disney World for 20 plus years and not be considered an expert in my eyes. So you're bringing some of your buddies on to kind of help businesses and like Joe Average learn to tell better stories. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before the pandemic, I was leading live workshops called Tell Your Story workshops. And I was taking these tools that I have learned over the 20 years on how to tell a great story in any situation and engage any audience, large or small. I've been teaching nonprofits and entrepreneurs how to do that. My mantra is that I always tell them, I teach them how to tell a story in everything from a tweet to a TED Talk and everything in between.
Yeah.
So since the pandemic, I've been sitting home, twiddling my thumbs,
right,
pretending to smoke a pen, I just sitting around. So I needed to move my live workshops into something digital. So while I was working on the digital courses, taking a full 8-hour day and turning it into five digital courses through 5 weeks, I thought, well, I gotta get the word out there. And so I created the Story Maven podcast because I wanted to interview other people who were telling great stories, using story for their marketing, and could give all of us, even me, some more insights. And I just love hearing people's stories. So I've already had some incredible guests. I don't know if you know Mark Daniel. He's one of the warm-up hosts for Star Wars.
Yeah. In fact, that was when I was just, kind of looking through your bio and looking through what your podcast offers. I absolutely recognized the name. So Mark Daniel is a professional warm-up host. Is that what you would classify him as?
I would, yeah. He's won an Emmy Award for that. He was the warm-up host for all the Disney parks, like their big Christmas parade. He was warming up that crowd.
So we do a bit here on the show called Weird Job Wednesday, and I can't help but think that one of the most odd jobs, and I mentioned this to Sam, my producer, last night, your job, professional storyteller, like improving a story in front of a captive audience at the theme parks, to me, and I think to a lot of people, in fact, I think to the majority of people, sounds absolutely terrifying. But when I saw what you do, I have nothing but massive amounts of appreciation for it. I know Tom does as well, because it is sort of what we do.
Yeah.
I've never been able to tell people, you're maybe one of maybe 5 people I know that I could explain what I do, and they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. I understand.
What you do.
Yes, Tom.
It is. And there's something, that's part of the reason why I want to bring these tools to nonprofits and business leaders and entrepreneurs, because for me, I've been in the arts my whole life. I've been an actor my whole life. So essentially, I'm a small business person running a business of one.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly working with all these different nonprofits. Also, my son has autism, so I work with all of these nonprofits. And these people are overwhelmed with their own business, and they want to focus on the thing they do best. But now they have got to pump content out. They have got to write tweets and do an Insta story and a weekly email. Yeah. And my God, now they have to do TikTok. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, where are those guys? Yeah.
Exactly. So how do you do that? How do you get those tools? And I know those tools because every single day, 5 times a day, I walked out into the street. I had a shell of a story, an outline of a story, and then I would engage an audience. I had to put at least 3 people into my show. They were the stars of the show. I was picking those people, guests, to be in the show. So I had to figure out, A, how to get a street full of people who were wandering by to stop what they're doing at Disney World, pay attention to me, join me, and then be in the show. And so trying to gather a crowd of at least 5 people, sometimes up to 300 people, and tell that story, keep driving that story. So not only engage them, but then drive that story. And here's the deal. This is what you know from your improvisational conversations is when we're having a conversation, I'm going to say something that you weren't expecting. And now you've got to respond to it.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. Now you're doing math, word math.
Right.
Alice, I want to ask you a question about improv and how your brain is turned on while you're doing improv, and I'll explain. And
we were talking about it this morning.
And me and Daniel were talking about this, and I was telling Daniel, I'm going to tell you some marital problems now, Alice. They're very uncomfortable.
Oh, my God.
But this is a true story. This is exactly what we were talking about this morning. So, Alice, enjoy these.
I'm here to help.
Yeah, enjoy these marital problems.
My wife,
This is really why we brought you on,
Bless her heart.
Often complains to me that I don't pay attention to her when she's telling me something at home. Now, my thing was I don't pay attention, or I tend to trail off when she's telling me some arbitrary thing about work or something about like the kids, like just small talky husband and wife.
Like, oh, Tommy didn't eat his lunch today.
Yeah, like
a conversation.
Information that is like hard for me to really grab a hold of a conversation.
I spilled a little bit of spaghetti
engaged.
sauce on my blouse. It's like, that's not important.
And I contend, and my excuse now, I figured it out, this is my new excuse, is that during the day when me and Daniel are working, like we record for probably 4 hours a day.
At
Let's
least,
say,
yeah,
like,
at least.
And during that whole time, when you're doing improv or you're having a conversation, you don't know where it is, like not scripted, obviously, and it's basically improv. You have to. Your brain has to be ready and engaged and ready for any swerve or anywhere we're going. And even while the other person's talking, all you're doing is gathering information, figuring out where you're going to go. And if you add in trying to be funny to that, then it's more than just having an engaged conversation. It's like, how can I be funny during this engaged conversation?
Inflection.
And it's mentally exhausting.
I will agree with that.
And I find that at the end of the day, I'm mentally exhausted, and it's hard for me to then be engaged again.
Yeah.
Do you have that problem, Alice, when you work or when you're doing long?
Yeah, if you do a full
sessions
shift
of
and you do
improv,
you do multiple stories, and then when you're done for the day, you come back to the I'm assuming employee, locker rooms or whatever to put your wand down for the day.
Oh.
I'm guessing you are pretty darn tired, right?
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. There was a period of time when I was an actor at Disney World where I had a break room where the improvisational storytellers, there are three of us, had a break room with some of the characters. And the characters go out and do not talk. And we go out and talk. And so the break room really didn't work because there would be people coming back from their time on that wanted to talk about everything that had happened to them. And we just wanted to be quiet.
Yeah, so those people talking are your wife. You are the improvisational storyteller, and you're in there, and all you're doing is trying to fuel up for more stories.
I'm about to save your marriage. I'm going to give you a tool.
All right.
Yes, that's what I need.
Yes, all right.
Here you go. So
Maybe
my
new
story
wife.
mantra,
That would
when
be
you
nice.
are creating a great story, here's the thing you need. It needs to be universal so we relate, specific so we care. That is what makes a great story. That is my storytelling mantra. Universal so we relate, specific so we care. So universal is like a theme, an ideal, an aspirational identity that everyone can relate to. Then specific is those details, the rich details that make it interesting and keep my interest. You're essentially then creating a picture that your audience can see, and that's what brings that aspirational identity to life through those specifics. So when you are listening to someone tell a story, if you cannot relate, if you cannot connect, and you cannot care, it's because the specific details aren't making you care. But what you can connect to is that universal. What is it that is universal that you can relate to?
Trapped.
Is it a struggle that she's going through? Is it the desire to be heard? She's been with small children all day. Mm-hmm. Now she wants an adult conversation, but she doesn't have anything to talk about except for spaghetti on her blouse. So find that point, and then drive either home to that universal attribute, or add some specific details that might be more interesting to you.
No, can't add details. If he adds details, that's where she'll get mad because it's her story.
Yeah, and Tom doesn't shut up.
She's driving the book.
Well, I was actually thinking about, I went to your website and read your story, and I was thinking, how can I put this into context, this story mantra into context with your story?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, universal so we relate. And I put down two friends who make each other laugh and want to know, is anyone listening?
Oh, that was written a long time ago when we were friends.
That's your aspirational identity, though. But that's who you are, right?
Yeah,
So
I agree.
That, I can relate to that. I am not your target audience. I am a 50-something mom of a special needs child. I'm in the arts. I drink wine, not beer. I do not care for the bad language in public. I'm just not your target audience.
Yeah.
But I relate to that. I can relate to, is anyone listening? I can relate to connecting deeply with my friends.
Sure.
It's something that I crave. So being seen and heard then is kind of your universal connection point. Then specific so we care. You guys get super specific, and that's what makes you such a great storyteller, is you tell these great, specific, rich details. So coming coming and connecting with your wife on that universal thing, on what is it that's really going on here? Is it that she wants to be seen and heard? Is it that she wants to connect? Is it that she wants to laugh and have a good time? What is that universal thing in her story that you can relate to? That would be a way.
What do you think, Tom? If you applied that,
yeah.
do you remember a specific story that she was telling that maybe you got chastised for not?
I trailed off. I stopped paying attention.
So even Alice, I apologize.
I'm midway through on listen.
He was listening, but the one thing
this may be the problem.
But the one thing he can universally identify with on our show is that he does like having guests. He just doesn't like anything that they say because it's too many details, and he's too dumb to add his own.
I'm joking. No, Alice, I totally get what you're saying. Like,
I actually like that a lot, Alice. That was great.
And let me ask you this.
It's a great improv tool, too.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And because we're all humans, and we all can relate. Like, I feel like we see other people who are like, man, I'm so different from that person. You see people online, and you're ever like, me and this person are complete opposites, but I bet you, because you're painting a picture, I bet you we're all so similar. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's some we can all relate to each other in one way.
You want to hear something sad, Alice? As I get older, I realize just how non-unique I am. Because I thought
but that's a better way to think.
I think as a child, your parents always tell you, there's no one like you. You're
special.
You're so special. You're amazing. And I'm glad my mom and dad pumped me up like that, because I've been able to have at least enough confidence to get out in the work world and have fun and enjoy, doing what we do here. But as I do get older, I see other people doing stuff, and I look on the internet, and the world is really, really close now, and I'm like, I'm not that special. I'm just a guy,
Alice,
just some dumb guy.
Alice, you know what? I want you to give one piece of advice to people out there that have a hard time telling a story.
Oh man!
Because everybody knows a person that for whatever reason they have an interesting story, and it can be interesting, right? But the way they're telling it, my God,
man,
it's hard to listen. Like, they end at the wrong spot, and they plateau way too early, and they trail off, and it's horrible.
And before she starts, let me just make sure we're staying on topic and plugging Story Maven podcast. If you want to learn how to tell a better story, if you're in business and telling stories is what you do, but you've been neglecting it, you're not so good at it, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, AliceFairfax.com. Okay. So what would you say to Bad Story Man?
Oh, man, it's so painful. There's just nothing worse, and that's probably one of the reasons why I started these workshops. And honestly, in an 8-hour workshop, we start to scrape through that, and I'm really excited. I'm launching in January the digital course, and so that'll be 5 weeks of tools that people can take and make themselves better stories, because that's what just breaks my heart when somebody who's like, the leader of a nonprofit, they feed the hungry, and they get up there and they have all of these incredible stories to tell, and then they just drone on, and you're right, they don't know where to stop, don't know where to end. So to me, it's about that. You've got to find that universal thing. But then when you are crafting those specifics, you have to learn where the arc of that story is. Because here's the bad thing we usually do is we cram it full of specifics, so much specifics that it's super boring. It's just overdone. Or we do the Miss America thing where it's just too lofty, too high, and it's all, I just said it's world peace. That's what I want to solve.
Sure.
Like how? Who cares? Why do I care? And so figuring out why people care, and here's the next huge tip. Besides the universal so we can relate and specific so we care, you have to make it about your audience. Your audience is the hero of your story. when you make it about them.
Oh, man, you need to
who they
see our
are.
audience.
Yeah, there are no heroes.
Oh,
I don't know,
man,
Alice.
yeah.
They are not the heroes.
We
of the
actually
story.
refer to them as the no responders.
Yeah.
Or don't responders is another way. Yeah, they're bad.
There's not one,
Yeah.
one good, one good one.
I'm looking for one. That's
Yeah.
the quest.
And
I'm
then
like,
there's real bad, like Mike. There's a guy named Mike B. Real bad.
Mike B.
leave
If you're
him
out
alone.
there, Mike B, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
Van Helsing, and I'm gonna crossbow your nose ring out.
Jesus.
And
These
Alice,
are people, they need to be seen and heard too. They need their stories told. They need to be validated, and that is what you're doing.
Oh, Mike B.
Mike
Mike B
B
is the
is-
stinkiest mustache in all of the land, and it needs
I'll write
no
I'll
validation.
write a story about his mustache. So, Alice, I also, and then sometimes I just tell people, and tell me if you agree, because I have no training in any of this, and I have no
Really?
tools. No, no, I have no
I think
nothing.
Alice knows.
Yeah, yeah.
I have known nothing.
But people are like, oh, yeah, like you know how to tell stories. Well, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't know, nothing. But my only piece of advice is figure out the ending. Like, where's the best part of it? Then work backwards and end at the ending. Because out of all the but sometimes when people tell me stories, they tell me something. There's one funny part. But then they keep going. I'm like, you should have ended at the funny part and then just stop there, because then I would just remember, oh yeah, that's funny. And then people just remember the ending.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And so
It's like a rock show. It's bookends, right? The first song and the last song are the
start
two
strong,
most
end strong.
Yeah, those are the two most
Yes.
important.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld says, end with the joke. End with the joke. You got to end with the joke. You got to end with what captures people. Because what we want in a story, what we're listening for in a story is it's a story of survival. Even the silly little ones. I know that sounds crazy, but the truth is our brains are wired for story. They teach us how to survive and thrive. All stories are about somebody overcoming an obstacle. I have overcome the obstacle of spaghetti sauce on my blouse.
Okay.
That is my story.
Yeah.
Boring as it is, you are my husband and you have to listen to it.
Oh, wow. Alice throwing down that white hot honesty.
Alice, I got one more question, and I want to see if you agree with this, because I have a theory about how people that are really good at improv and how their brains work. That we see it in the entertainment business, and we see people that are professional improvisational actors or comedians, and then you're like, wow, you see, like, how are you so fast on your
Or
feet?
like our buddy Chris Turner. He just happens to be a very good improv rapper.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
he's
They use
great
it for
freestyle rapper. You know?
And then and Daniel is great and super
Yeah,
fast.
I'm losing my edge.
And so I think that like that talent obviously exists throughout our population, and we see it in the entertainers. But then what we don't recognize as improv, that I see as a form of improv, is in like sales. And then if you go to the evil side of like con artists and like shysters and like sleazy businessmen and stuff.
Yeah, like that commercial.
And politicians.
Like that commercial
Yeah.
where you have the lady selling the car, and then she says, fresh out of the oven, and you look in the trash can, and there's a old box of Publix cookies. She lied.
Oh my God.
And it's an old lady, and it hurts my heart, because I'm like, you mean old lady.
So Alice,
What are you doing?
I see some of these like a con artist or a politician or whatever, and then I'm like, they're just doing improv. They're BSing. They're fast on their feet, and
Yeah.
people believe them because they're like, whoa, this guy has an answer for
But
everything.
they're not
and
sweet like
and he's-
Alice
and he's-
telling a Christmas story. They're stealing our tax dollars.
and he's fast talking, and he can answer any question. He's BSing any question. He's improving, like,
Yeah,
and
no,
then
you're
I'm like,
right.
but he's improving for a different reason. Instead of for entertainment, he's improving for the sale or
Improving for evil.
or for
Improv for evil.
improv for evil.
Wait a minute. Improv for Evil is an awesome band name. Or
We're done. We're taking it on the road.
yeah, that is a great name.
And Alice, I honestly think if like you and some of the best improvers in the world, if they decided to use the skill that they have for evil,
yeah,
that they
you're
could
right.
scam people out of money,
if
be
you
the
were
best politician.
If you were a bad person, you could really be hurting people.
Have
right
you ever
now.
thought about that?
No, it never occurred to me.
Terrible question.
My
I
God,
feel
Tom.
terrible
all the
about
time.
sales. I struggle with it so much, but now that you're saying it, it really is. It's that core of what gets me excited is the energy exchange in the audience. I I know how to read an audience, and that's the part that I teach people a little bit, but there's parts of this that are innate to, we each have talents, and for me, that reading an audience, feeling that energy. So in my live workshops, I do teach people kind of how to feel the energy of a room, because I think they don't know that you can.
Yeah,
you can.
You can. It's really, really, really hard. And Tom and I are bad at it. In fact, we had to learn the art of stacking acts, meaning we did an event at BB King's here in town where we stacked a really high energy DJ and drummer combo in front of a comedian. Well, we sucked all the energy out of the air, and then the comedian came on, and that was our fault. Both acts executed what they did perfectly. Yeah. It was our fault because we stacked it wrong. We didn't read the room right. We didn't layer it correctly, and that kind of, I guess, in a weird way, it would have killed our story, so to speak.
See, but then you learned, so you can learn it. If you have to develop an awareness for it, and part of it is getting out of your own energy. I mean, we come at it with so much nerves. Our energy is so high when we're speaking or talking or giving a pitch. I mean, my gosh, the elevator pitch, your energy is just out of this world. Yeah. You are so stressed out about, I have this 1 second to make a pitch and make this sale and make this work. Yeah. It's so stressful. So you're not able to read the energy in the room because yours is so overwhelming. But I think folks that do improv for evil are reading the energy. They know how to read the energy, and they know how to yes-end it. Yeah. I always say you read the energy, and you take the energy of the audience where they're at, and then I lead them to the next level. So often I would come out, and, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Florida. It is hot. Yeah. And I've got to gather at least 5 people. Now, during Christmas time, I would walk out the door and there'd be 300 people waiting for me. So I was always readjusting to the energy of that.
Right.
And how do you make that engagement and connect with them? So if I would walk out and there's 5 people there and what I really wanted was 300, well, I can't be at them like, all right, everybody, woohoo! Right. Because there's not 300 of them.
Right.
I have to readjust, get with those 5 people, and then take them up a notch. So maybe instead of wild and crazy crowd, what I'm doing is I'm taking these 5 people and I'm making them feel connected. I'm unifying them. And then that attracts the attention of maybe 3, 4, maybe 10 more people. Now I got a crowd of 20.
Is that kind of like one of those techniques where I've seen people, and I've seen storytellers such as you're describing, where there's not a lot of people listening, but they'll start speaking at such a very, very, now it's got respect, it's got, it's there, it's with authority, but it's not very loud at all. And it draws everybody in because they're like, oh my God, what's this mysterious woman, this story, what is she even saying? So everybody gets real quiet. That automatically just pulls more people in. Is it something like that?
Yeah. Absolutely. When I demand from my audience that they be something for me, they are going to be like, well, to hell with you. No way. They don't like that. They do not like that. But if I come at them and say, oh, you're in this mood, let me join you here. Now, I want us to get to this mood here. I want us to get to clapping and cheering, or I want you laughing as a group. I can get them there if I meet them where they're at instead of demanding they be something for me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I've always. Are there any ever any hecklers in an audience like that at Disney World, where some punk teen boy is like,
drunk dad?
Did you hear her reaction? I feel so sad. She's like, ugh.
Yeah, some 13-year-old goth kid is like, you're not this person, and then how do you deal with that?
Yeah. You have to. At Disney World, you can kind of nice them to death, and generally speaking, too, you can. And this is the same. If you are getting slammed on Facebook in the comments or whatever for a post you've done, and the other people will rise up, and just like your fish that you were talking about before, they will devour that person.
Yeah. That's true. That is true.
If you get into it with them, then that goes down the tubes fast, because you have to think about your context. if I'm in Disney World and somebody's heckling me, which has happened, and yes, you are right, drinking around the world.
Yeah.
One of the shows that I did was at the Italian Pavilion, which is halfway around the world.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what that brings at 2:00 in the afternoon? Really?
Yeah, that
I
gets me-
apologize for the
Yeah.
BDM group.
Yeah, that gets me standing out there with my pants almost down, drinking 3 Negronis.
Yeah,
Mike B was probably one of those people.
Yeah.
Might be.
So you've seen the nose ring.
He got the mustard in his
But
mustache.
if you stay true to yourself and your context and engage the rest of the people, those people they'll get embarrassed, they'll get bored with it, they'll move along. But man, I can see faces still after 20 years, people that I will never forget that have never left me.
That's hilarious. Well, Alice, thanks so much for joining us today. Again, her podcast, Story Maven Podcast, you can find it wherever you get your podcast. We suggest Apple Podcast or Spotify, Google Podcasts, places like that. Thanks for your time, and hopefully we'll get to do this again sometime, okay?
So great to talk to you guys. Thank you so much.
All right,
All right,
take
Alice.
care. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
That was really cool.
Yeah. She is cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know what?
I was very surprised that you sat and listened as long as you did without cutting her off and telling her how to tell stories.
I was worried about that.
I only do that to people that are familiar with the show because then I feel uncomfortable
Well,
if
she
I
did
do
some
it
research.
to a stranger. Yeah,
well,
but
she's
then-
like a pro, so it
Right.
kind of made sense.
Like,
that one made me nervous only because I booked it and then I didn't fully read it. Like
I think you forgot you booked it too.
I did. I did forget I booked it. Yeah, I mean, I got to do a better. But that was good. Like, I enjoyed talking to her, and I actually feel like some of the things she says, I should concentrate more on. You know, just like not necessarily. I'm not saying I need to start taking
good advice.
classes, but it is good to think about those things, be mindful of them, maybe read a little bit.
the ability to talk in a informational or like a teaching way, like she can, like that's
Yeah.
a skill that I do not have.
When she has a cadence, you can even tell just that interview that
like
I had
explaining.
even if I didn't know what she was saying, if that had just been noises, let's say, there's a certain cadence and a way that she talks that's very pleasing. You can tell why she made it.
Yeah.
Like what people are like, oh yeah, you're a storyteller, because there are certain people that when they do talk, I don't know, like they kind of draw me in. Putty from Seinfeld. What's that guy's name? Warburton. Patrick Warburton.
yeah.
That guy.
They have a cadence that makes you listen.
James Earl Jones. I
yeah.
mean, there's just certain people that when you hear them talk, it kind of pulls you in. Remy from Remy's Roundtable is another one I'm figuring out.
Doing that job, especially like I'm more of a Pluto. Like I'll get out there, I'll dance around.
Pluto's a
but
dog.
No, but I'm saying in the character
And he
world,
really just kind of
You're
punches.
more of a Duffy.
no
You're a
talking.
Duffy bear.
Like I don't want to talk. I'll do the picture. I'll stay the way. But when you're a character that you have to actually interact,
Engage.
Well, no, that's what
rough.
I'm saying. Pluto dances too much. You're definitely more like a Duffy bear.
Okay, is it
Because
just
he just
stand
kind
there?
of stands there with a
Okay.
sailor hat on.
Yeah.
Like,
I just like
Gets
stand.
drunk at the Canadian Pavilion.
I love Duffy Bear, man. Then they got rid of him.
Yeah.
They moved him on out of the parks.
Loneliest bear.
At
Disney World.
Man, people. It was funny how many people were hitting me up. They didn't know you were drunk at the bear.
No, you're.
I got some people that actually said that.
No.
I got one person.
No, they're clowning you. That's the whole.
No, I
joke.
got one guy that's
It's like, wait, you were drunk? Okay, I get the joke. I'll get you. Oh, I know who you are.
He does not know.
I know he doesn't. All right, bye.
Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan Samantha Butler here. Let's jump into your email messages.
All right. Hello, mediocre team. Tom recently talked about getting beat up at the dentist. It's been 2 years since my last dental visit after I, too, had a horrible experience.
Sorry, I thought I'd missed a story where you got assaulted at the dentist by I'm
I mean,
assuming.
kind of.
Oh,
No,
Got
I'm
his tongue
assuming.
stabbed.
Murdered my gums.
I mean, you got like pushed down by an
Oh,
old man,
no,
like
yeah.
near the fish tank.
No.
Because all dentist offices have fish tanks now. Going to the dentist is different now. It's not as much fun.
When was it ever fun?
I loved going to the dentist, but it's not as much fun because the hygienist doesn't lean her boobs on your head or anything anymore.
Oh, I get that.
No, it's not. They don't get as close.
I also
Yeah,
like
get a new
It's
dentist.
like, it's like when
I like
they
a-
stopped lap dances. They're like, no, you can just you just look at it. It's a table dance.
people have an irrational fear of the dentist, and they're like, I'm just gonna let my teeth rot.
Yeah,
then,
and
like-
that's good for my heart. All that fungus and death inside my mouth.
But you're like, there's gonna be a lot of dentists at the end of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Or not.
or just
Let them all fall out.
yeah. But no, they have to take it. There's gonna be
No,
surgery.
at some point you have to. It's like an
Yeah.
old dog.
It's gonna
like
be
an old
real
dog,
bad.
An old dog. You can't let, as a human, you cannot let the teeth thing. I draw a line on because I got good teeth.
Oh yeah.
And I look, and I know I'm fortunate that probably
just-
through some sort of genetics I had good teeth. And my parents, they set the bar real high, almost unattainable for teeth. It was a floss scenario, it was a brush scenario. I had sealants, I had braces, I had orthodontia, all of that. I had the whole
Wow.
nine.
I know dentist and dentistry is super expensive, but
It is.
it's less expensive if you pay for the maintenance. And this is coming from
Correct.
the person that's the worst at life you've ever heard. I just go even if you're bad at life like me.
It would be
you
worth it
miss
to put it
flossing
on-
every once in a
You
while.
got to put it on a credit card. You have to. It's dental health. It's important.
You can get a teeth cleaning for $125. It's expensive.
Put a GoFundMe. It's
get it-
very important.
Get one every quarter. Don't do it every 6 months. Get it every quarter. Then
Well, that's for lazy people, but I'm with you.
you just know yourself and do that, because the alternative is going to be you're afraid to go, you miss it, blah, blah. Next thing you know, 3 years down the line, you need 5 root canals and you need some crowns, and then that's
Well,
going to
then
be $8,500.
You
see what
wake
I'm
up
saying?
one day and your mouth is like an old dog's mouth, and then they got to pull all your teeth. They get loose. Then they got to pull all your teeth out in one go, and then they got to put those little posts like they're putting a fence up.
Well, then people can't even afford that. You know how expensive
yeah,
that
then
is?
you got to get
Yeah.
implants. They got to screw your teeth down.
Dude, like a full set of implants, it was $50,000.
Oh,
like, I mean, insane. Like, it's more than your car.
I think it can be more than that.
And then you don't want dentures.
You know how much
so
my crown is, and we got bad insurance, so I might have to go to a different dentist. What do you think my crown costs?
Was it like $1,200? Something like that.
You better go higher, buddy.
1,800.
A little higher.
Really?
Yeah.
With it, yeah, 20.
No, without insurance. What do you think?
Oh, without insurance?
Yeah.
I probably $2,700.
$3,800.
Okay, yeah.
With insurance, what do you think?
$850
$2,700.
Oh,
They
okay.
only cover like less than $1,000.
Yeah.
What's up with
It's expensive.
the insurance for?
Well, I go to a dentist
When you
out
go-
of my group, so now I'm going to probably have to schedule with another dentist that's inside in order
gotta
to get
find a new dentist.
more covered, which is unfortunate because I've been with these guys
Or
for years.
You can let it all rot
Hang out.
Well,
Then you go down to Argentina.
I mean, you heard what I said. I was
I
contemplating.
know a guy that went down to Mexico and got all his teeth
yeah,
redone.
there's a thing about going down to South America or Mexico and getting dental work done because it's like a third of the price.
That's what, that's what Heaven's Gate did when they performed some
There's-
things. They would hang a sign on the door like
Oh,
this
they
door.
did. That said Mexico.
Yeah, that said Mexico. So if anybody asks you, like I'm
That was
bang-
the castration.
I'm beating. Yeah, I wasn't gonna spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry.
I'm beating your teeth out. It just like so you
So
can
you're
tell
going
the
down to
police.
Mexico?
you're
People
like,
knew
I'm-
about that. They made an SNL skit about that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that.
yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Well, I guess I'm just into cults, so I know.
Yeah, you know a lot more about this. A lot of this is new stuff to me.
What was this person asking?
Oh, so then he goes on to say, I need to go back, but this snowflake needs to be coddled. Am I a big
come
baby
on.
man if I want to be gassed and catered to by a
No.
new dentist or for just a checkup and cleaning?
No, because everybody's fear is different. Like I
Do
hate.
they even do that?
I hate
I guess if
flying.
you pay for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they will do
they'll
it.
do it.
I happen to love the dentist. I don't even really need Novocaine. I don't need it, whatever. But I like it. I like all that stuff.
I mean, if you haven't been in a long time, they most likely have to do a deep cleaning, and that
Those are the worst.
Yeah, that murders your gums,
X-rays.
and sometimes you ask for the gas, you pay it's like $125 or whatever. You get the nitrous.
I might do that.
You get high for the afternoon. It's awesome.
No, just ask.
Sometimes I've been on nitrous. I told you, I'm sensitive to it. I think I die, and then I thought I've
you
died
called me
multiple
one time
times.
as you were like coming out of it. You're like, I saw it again. I
Saw
the-
what?
He was like, I saw the white elk. It talked to me in the woods.
In my mind, I'm having some sort of.
Out of body experience?
Well, I think it's like I'm hearing it's like yeah, that, and then I'm like, I died. And then I'm like, oh, I'm not dead, and then I'm like, whoa, like it's real. I'm sensitive to it because I don't think you should feel like you died and came back from life. Like that's an advanced move.
Do you dream at night?
No.
But when you go under, you see things?
No. It was messing with my brain so much. It wasn't going under. It's just nitrous. It was like I was hearing the repeat. I thought my last 5 seconds of my life was on repeat, and then
the chat room is just absolutely slaying you today, and I'm gonna beg them to be nice to you today. Fushino
if I could read it, I'll be mad.
Fushino says my dentist will gas for any cleaning. He's near Tom's house.
Okay.
Oh, let me get that info.
Oh, no, that's good.
Well, no, but I know what he's saying. I know what that means. Yeah, when you're getting your teeth cleaned and you look out the window and you can see people leaving their handguns in their trucks to walk into Buffalo Wild Wing because the sign on the door says no firearms allowed. Like that is, I mean, it's close. You can actually hear the big buck hunter going off when people win while you're getting your teeth cleaned.
I did have a shiesty dentist back in the
I
radio
wish you
days
still did.
who wanted to trade
Dr.
cocaine.
Giggles.
All right.
Yeah.
And he was rubbing my wife's gums. I sent her. Remember,
They call me Dr. Speedball.
He was like rubbing all her gums, and she told me about it.
Yeah,
She was like, I was very disturbed. I was like, that's
He's
weird.
doing that thing where it's
It's not-
squeaky. He's like,
I said that's weird to her, but in my mind, I was like, sounds about right. This is how this guy rubs my gums too.
And he does that
wants
move.
cocaine.
He's really into guns.
He's rubbing your guns, and you can hear it, and then he whispers in your ear. He's like, "I'm never gonna wash my finger."
If you're giving me a deal or something cheap, I'll look past a lot. Like I'll see you in sandals or you have like a handgun. And I'll be like, oh God, just don't see that. Like, as long as I'm getting my free hair dye.
If you're giving me anything in upwards of $99 plus, I will simulate sex acts.
Yeah. I'm buying something on Craigslist and there's chains attached to it, like they had been cutting off and stolen.
I won't even question it.
I look past it, I'm like, just
Now, I
ignore
would
it.
prefer that you keep
I
the
need
chains
what I
'cause
need.
I don't want to dispose of them, or if it's a yellow boot, I
Don't tell
prefer
me,
that you just you keep that because that's on you.
But there are a ton of people that won't go to the dentist because they fear. You know what I think they fear?
It's the number
We
one
do.
fear. Like it was the number
I
one
think-
fear on when I put it on the BDM page. Like people were like dentist. It was like number one.
But you
and
know-
then flying under that, under it.
I think a good portion, 30% of that fear is the fear of shame. Because
That could be true.
All right.
I've been to dentists before where they kind of shame you, like, I don't see you see you're not flossing or whatever. Like make comments about.
Right.
I
It's
said
like,
that to my hygienist, and I went for the one where she can't talk out of it.
Yeah.
I was like, I haven't been flossing as much. She's like, really? Why? I go, my mom died, and you can't say a goddamn
Shame
thing.
him back.
You can't say a damn thing about it because I just hit you with the checkmate, yeah.
because you're
Right? That's the checkmate.
You know what
Yeah.
you were supposed to do, but you didn't do it.
I did.
And then you let too much time go
I'm
by.
over that. Like, let's stop with anybody that's
Teeth
in
shaming?
the industry of health.
Tooth
Don't
shaming.
shame people
But it works
for
sometimes.
neglecting themselves because
But the problem
most
is,
people do.
it's
and
how-
then that will cause people to not want to go back.
It's how you take it, though, because the dentist is probably just telling you, hey, you need to floss
They
and
can
brush your
just say
teeth
that
more.
then.
But I think then the person sitting there is taking it like shame, be like,
What if they
you
were
can
just
tell.
blunt?
Of course I can
No,
tell.
what
if you
just
never
give me
washed your
the
car.
facts, don't give
No,
me the
what if they were
attitude.
blunt though? What if they were like they just came in with no inflection? They were like, "Your teeth look okay. Your flossing is not good. Your brushing is good.
Yeah, I need a
Yeah,
robot.
I want that.
Your bill is up front."
You know what? Don't even talk to me. Just hand me a piece of paper
Here
with
is
the
a
information.
tiny bag with a bunch of junk in it that
Yes.
you will leave in your car until the toothpaste explodes on your car seat.
I wrote wash me on your teeth.
That's like a your mama joke. That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
End on the joke.
Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hey, Sam.
Hey.
Butler's in the other room doing things.
We have a bunch of brand new merch at tomanddan.com. It's our retro line. It's a brand new hoodie. It's a baseball tee. We have a regular men's tee. We have a women's shirt. We could take it now.
You wanna do it?
And then we have a new Christmas ornament. We've got some bundles on there that you could buy that will save you some money. There's a ton of stuff, and I know the last orders go out December 17th. So
that is that's
I think
our
the cutoff
day?
to get it
Okay.
before Christmas. At least Florida orders. Eric told me. So basically, as long as you order before December 17th, and try to order, give him some time, because Eric does a great job, but
does.
he's only one man. So, but what I'm saying is, you order now, you can get it before Christmas.
Yeah, and another thing you can do for us, if you don't mind, we're live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. If you would go there and like and subscribe us on Twitch, you can also do that on YouTube. The names are exactly the same. Just search for Tom and Dan Live. We tried to keep all of our social media platforms at least Tom and Dan Live, but we've been getting tons of new videos, daily videos every single day. Yesterday's video I put out 3 hours long of everything we did in the studio. We talked to Shane Hartline, actor buddy of ours out in L.A. We talked to Mike from SpaghettiModels.com, Mike from Mike's weather page. So check that out. It's Tom and Dan Live on the old YouTube.
And even if you check out Twitch every once in a while, if you subscribe to it, if you're looking for a way to help the show, and you're like, hey, I want to help the show for free, just subscribe on Twitch, and old Bezos will throw us $3 a month.
Indeed.
Because Amazon owns Twitch, and that's an incentive, and it's free for you as long as you're Amazon Prime member, which most people are.
Yeah.
And then if you subscribe on our Twitch channel, then we get $3 a month from old Bezos. So
Indeed. Now, we have somebody on the line, probably I'm going to say, dare I say, the most popular Instagram person that we've ever talked to. Just powerful. Just, and hilariously funny. It's in the name. I'll let you do the honor, sir, as I bring her up.
She's going to be at the Orlando Improv. We got Jess Hilarious. How you doing, Jess?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Good. Hey, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it. Coming back into Orlando, Improv's back open. We can actually go out there and see your face. So welcome back to Florida. How many times have you been to see us?
Oh, my God. I don't even know. I lost count of how many times I've been in Orlando. I don't know. I've been there quite a few times. This may be my sixth time.
Yeah, I want to say, because and all at the current Improv, right? The one out. Not the one that used to be on Church Street. That's how old I am. Old ass.
No.
Yeah. So, Jess, I got to ask you about being an influencer, because you have...
just commanding numbers.
You have 4.9 million followers on Instagram, and I feel, and tell me if you agree, where that number is becoming more and more impressive and actually means more as time goes on, because I feel like it's harder to build that big of an audience now as opposed to when you started.
Right.
Absolutely. It is. Listen, this is the funniest part about the 4.9, though. I was at the beginning of quarantine. I hit 5, and then I went down 4.9, and then I went 4.8, and then I just shot back up to 4.9, and I'm almost about to hit 5 again. And I'm like, yo, what happened? But I stopped making videos. Like the quarantine, when it hit, it had me in a funk. I'm not even gonna lie. I just was like, oh my God. So I guess my followers was like, yeah, right, we're going to unfollow you because you're not doing anything. So it kind of messed me up a little bit. So
that's interesting. Yeah. I've never heard anybody. Well, first of all, you're the only influencer, and I apologies. I like calling you a comedian, just a funny person, a powerful woman in entertainment sounds better to me. But influencer, I've never heard somebody talk about losing followers. Normally they only talk about gaining. You're talking about the real. You're talking about the part that people don't see.
Absolutely. It happens, yeah.
And Jess, and it's to my understanding, and we're just old school radio guys that got into podcasting and then, early, but we respect and understand and are fascinated by the new world it is now, where you can have your own audience and you can promote to your own audience. And we've talked to a bunch of comedians and people just like you that have this powerhouse of an audience where really they can go their whole career with just promoting to their own audience and be fine and never really have to do any other media, which is crazy impressive and a different, completely different than it used to be. But it seemed like once you a lot of social media influencers and people that have a huge following, they went towards comedy, especially if they're making comedic videos.
Sure, on TikTok or Snapchat.
And then they honed their act and basically started just performing at improvs and performing in front of people and audiences and making money. And I say this like in the traditional route as a stand-up is like you're selling tickets, you're making money that way. But with the advertising potential of your social media, could you literally just like stop performing live and just like focus on social media and then make all your money through advertising? Because with the amount of followers you have 4.9 million, I have to imagine that is worth an insane amount of money in today's standards when it comes to advertising potential. Is that anywhere? Like, I don't know. Is that kind of true, or
no? That is most definitely true. And how I found it out was when we shut down. Like, the whole country was like, nope, we're not, no shows. Everything was canceled and everything. And I had this big following, all the these people following, this mass amount of people. And I just was like, okay, what do I do now? I don't have any way, because my show money was my money, Then I'm like, okay, how can I cater to? I launched this fitness line, and then I got into the podcasting, and then I have like T-shirts and all that type of stuff, and I'm about to launch this doggy line. Cool. Like, 'cause I have a French bulldog, and I met this vendor who's gonna make clothes for him, and I'm like, okay, we can start your own clothing line and sell it. So it's like, yes, it's ways that I can still make a living just off of my platform, and it's amazing. I just found that out this year.
That's crazy, though. But it's cool that you can do that. But it's funny because, like, it seems like there are pockets of people that have, millions of people following them, but they really don't know how to activate it. They don't know monetize it. Yeah, they don't know what to do with it.
And I'm super surprised. Like, that's awesome. And you got all these things that, like, that you're launching and doing. I'm surprised you don't get inundated by tons of different companies just asking you to endorse their product and then just basically saying, okay, based on your followers, I'm going to give you $10,000 just for one Instagram post about this particular product and you endorsing it, and that's all you have to do, or like 5 posts for $20,000 or something. Like, does that happen?
No, absolutely that happens. That's what's going on right now. That shit's gonna happen. And oops, sorry.
No, you're good. Don't even worry about it. You be you.
Okay, yeah, like that's what started happening. They had hit me up. They're like, you have like things like Fashion Nova and like Pretty Little Thing and like these sports companies and stuff like that. And they're like, if you post this, what are your rates for like packages? And I have different packages now where these big companies will reach out and then they'll pay for like I do like I have $12,000 packages and it goes up to $25,000. And these people pay this money like weekly. And it's crazy.
I gotta say something. I gotta sing your praises for a second, because we have talked to influencer after influencer after influencer, and no one has had the balls to give us the real and tell us what they're doing. And thank you for not being a pussy and telling us what happens.
For sure.
I appreciate that, because you've asked that question and we've never.
I don't know why everybody dances around it.
Yeah, you don't dance around it. I appreciate that.
Because that's exactly what we do.
You're a businesswoman, yes.
We have advertising packages. We sell to sponsors. We do their commercials. They pay us. It's a well-known part of this business. But for whatever reason, in social media world, people are always like, I don't want to talk about that part of it.
Why?
It's like,
have you seen some of that? I mean, because you didn't get. I mean, obviously you got into this because you have passion. You got into this because it's something you love. But there is another side to that. You got into this because you're damn good at it and you want to make money. Your business, right?
Yeah. I mean. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to have to ever go and clock in again or ever work, for someone again. Like, that's the way you capitalize off the platform.
Sure.
And it's just the real. It's the truth. It's like, these people are paying for these social media influencers to, expand their brand and expose their brand. There you go.
Jess, do you have like a core audience that you talk to? Because it seems like, we have one.
You mean like a fan club? Or?
We have BDMs, and like everybody that we talk to that has a engaged audience, they have part of that audience is the super engaged audience that they usually end up talking to back and forth, and like
they might even work for you or do something for you,
or like you see all the time at shows and whatever. And like, do you have that like hardcore group of engaged audience? Like, you have a huge audience, but are there a group that are super engaged?
Oh my God! So I this is so funny. Like gay women, they go super duper hard for me.
All right.
Like that's like my core audience right there, like gay women. They're like, Jess is us, we are Jess. That's all you like. That's predominantly within my shows, all my comedy shows, who buy my products, who like.
That's great.
Like it's just gay women, yeah.
And did you?
And they got money.
How like?
Yes,
did you,
they do.
Yeah,
Sorry,
of course.
I didn't mean to say that out loud. I'm just, and their yards look great.
Oh, they do.
And did you figure that out after an amount of time, or was it instant, or you're like just noticing trends of who was coming to the shows?
Yeah, I figured that out later. I figured that out being in my comedy shows. And then when I did the Fox sitcom, when I did Rel, we had a season of that, and that kind of crossed me over, because at first it was just black people on my shows, and then I started seeing white people, and then Hispanic people, and then I'm like, okay, I've seen one Asian so far. I only had one Asian so far. I'm working to build up the Asians, but yeah, it's only one so far I saw. And after that, I started seeing more and more like all types of people, but more colors of women, but definitely all still gay. So it's like I expanded the gayness. Yes.
And that Rel show, I gotta tell you, I mean, I don't think it's on anymore. That was a damn good show. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's not on anymore. Thank you.
It was really good. You guys did and to snag Sinbad in the cast, man.
Yo, that was the best part of being on that set.
Really?
Sinbad.
Cool, we had him in here,
I saw that he suffered from a stroke recently, but I think he's okay. He's recovering. But he's a super nice guy.
Yeah, we loved having him in here, and we got to have him in person before COVID and everything. But yeah, I was gonna ask you if he is, to get to work with him. I mean, that's got to be kind of crazy for you, right?
Man, that was so cool. It was like having like a real life mentor, TV dad, like on set. Like he'd tell me how to do certain things, and he's just very informative, and he doesn't like people that act like they know it all. Like he really wants to. He has gems to drop on you. He's always gonna let you know, like. Yeah. Look, you didn't do this right. You got to do this way, and then they'll respect you. If you just listening, shutting up and listening will go a long way. It'll teach you how not to have rebuttal every time. Like he's like a walking, he's a teacher. He's just, and he loves to see everybody win. So it was a great experience working with him.
Jess, how do you deal with any sort of trolls or negativity on social media? Because obviously we all know that it's rampant and it's sometimes over the top. Have you just come to terms with not looking at it? What's your process with dealing with it?
I swear I'm a roaster, so when people troll me, I just roast them. I give them what they ask for. I really do. And I am the only girl, and I grew up around a lot of guys, like boy cousins and my brothers, so I'm really quick on my feet, because all they used to do is pick on me. So they taught me in hindsight, really how to defend myself verbally and hurt people's feelings, and that's just what I do online. Trolls, I don't know, the internet has become so... It's like a place where you can say what you want and do what you want, and people never care about hurting anybody's feelings, so I just hurt people's feelings back. It's nothing. I've never lost a roast battle, so that's how I do it.
Yeah,
I like that.
If you think about it, though, you're just taking it for what it is, I think there are some people that will hear what you just said and say, oh, well, she's just going to be mean back. No, I think she's taking less.
Yeah. A roast is not meant to be mean, really.
She's also putting less, in my opinion, what you
meant
just
to be
said,
funny.
and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like you put less real world feelings and love and energy into it. You just because it's a roast. It's literally it might as well be a nothing.
Yeah, you're clowning him. It's kind of like Michael Blackson, his interaction with his audience. He's developed this rapport.
It's a give-take.
They're just attacking him. He's attacking them back.
Sometimes they read stuff that I'm a white guy that lives in Orlando, Florida, and sometimes I read stuff that they say about him, and it hurts my feelings. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God, that hurts my feelings.
Yeah, but he.
Yeah, but you know what? Michael is he is an idiot. He loves to be a punching bag for people anyway. He doesn't even care.
Yeah.
And nothing hurts this man's feelings. So it's just like I've won many roast battles against him as well. It's so funny. Like that's how we work.
Well, we're so lucky to get to talk to you, and everybody, you better get them tickets, because if you don't get on them now, you're not going to be lucky. You got to get
Definitely.
on theimprovorlando.com. Jump on there to get your tickets. That's probably the easiest way, wouldn't you guys think?
Yeah,
to do it from the website.
And we know the
Yep.
Improv, they keep it safe.
Yeah,
And, and it's they do every precaution to make sure you have a safe experience and you have a great
For
show.
sure.
And Jess Hilarious, it's been great talking to you. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming on the
Thank
show
you
today.
so much.
All right, we'll talk to you
No
soon.
problem, guys.
Later.
All right.
Oh, that was I did it again.
That was-
Hang on, I get nervous. And I'm like, I don't know when to press the button. Please stop talking. I'm just doing it. It's the epitome. You know what I do when I hang up on guests? And it's now I can never not do it. I have to do it because it's my thing. It's like me falling off a cruise ship holding a gun.
Oh, okay.
And they blow the horn. They're like, man overboard! And I'm like, I'll give them 2 minutes to turn around. And you guys are, but you are coming back to get me. And I'm just, well, that's
I give
taking
up.
too long. And I blow my head off.
Yeah. Give up too early.
Yeah,
I
and
like that. So, okay.
I learned a lot from that. Now, why is Jess the only person that ever has given us real world figures? I'm talking money figures for how she makes money.
It's just personality type. Some people don't mind saying numbers, and some people find it like.
Can I tell you something? Because I think
numbers.
most people know she's a beautiful woman. You know, you can go to her Instagram and see that, and she's hilariously funny. But what I will say is that she is a businesswoman.
Oh, well, what I
Smarty pants.
Yeah, and I'm sure she, fell in love with doing stand-up, and she's a comedian, so, and every stand-up we know falls in love with it and is addicted to it, basically, but if she wanted to, she could just literally make a living off podcast and social media following and never have to travel or do stand-up again. I mean, easily, with that amount of followers, you can make $500,000 a year, probably. If you busted your ass, no problem. So answer me this too, because as I didn't want to ask this to her because I may have put her in a uncomfortable situation. So, and this may make Krista mad from the Improv, but
What?
So
Well, let's not do that.
no.
Why would we do that?
Okay, so
This may get us kicked off the air, but
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
going to do it.
Doubling down.
do you think people, especially comedians that have these gigantic social media followings, that
She's got one of the biggest ones I've ever seen, just as a human, not
Yeah.
necessarily just comedian.
And we've talked to, we've asked this question a lot of like, hey, do you even need to do media anymore? Or can you just promote it to your own audience? They're the ones that want to come see you the most anyway, right? And then most of them are like, yes, I can do that. But they do the media because why not? Do you want to expand your audience? You want to get your
Sure.
name out there, but when you got 4.9 million, I don't know, you won't even tell a difference of what this interview will do to you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, my
like
God.
when you get 500 followers, you can't tell. She's not tracking it by the dozens, I'm sure, but she notices 100,000 drop.
Sure, yeah.
So, do you think people, and as this becomes more and more relevant, and do you think that these comedians will just start booking their own venue to do their own shows and just promote it through their own social media? Because you have all these like the Improvs and the Funny Bones and these there's franchises around the United States.
I think people are already kind of doing what you're
I know,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, and
You know where I'm seeing it right now is because it's easy. It started, and this is probably a couple of years ago, in even before COVID, with like singer-songwriter guys. Like they'll go, when they tour, they won't even book like a House of Blues or like even though they might be able to pull a bunch of people, they'll just find an independent venue, or
and
maybe
make their own deal.
somebody's got a big ass house.
They'll
do like a house show, but still charge.
Yeah.
That way they can control the money and get all of it, and then they even pony up for catering if they need it, or bar
Bring
service.
house shows back.
yeah. But now,
I mean, they're back. They're just, I don't know of any around here, and plus it's COVID. So
not right now.
I don't want to go to anybody's house.
But you know what? Now that I think about it, like the venue's already set and a well-oiled machine,
Right.
And if you're just getting the ticket money anyway, like the venue offers the food and the drinks.
Well, that's
and
what
the
Tom
professional,
Rhodes was going to do in
A lot
July.
of comedians don't like performing at places that serve dinner.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's
but
right.
as a customer, you like to I guess you want to go out for an experience that includes dinner and
Yeah.
drinks, and you want to be served that when especially the drinks part, because. If you go to a show, like let's say you go to and watch a show at Hard Rock or another bigger venue,
I do feel weird eating chips.
also
Well, it's annoying to have to get up and
you
go
have to-
get your
yes,
drink.
to
Yeah.
get up and go get your drink, and then you want another one. I like the waiter or
Yeah.
waitress
I
coming.
order 3.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You
But then
drink-
you have to walk back and do that move.
No,
Where
Yeah.
idiot! You order 3. One, you
you do.
slam it.
Okay.
Like down. That's
Right,
your
right,
walking
right.
beer.
That's-
yeah. Okay. Good.
That's your
yeah.
walking beer. And then your other 2, and one is for your wife. You sip one, the other. Okay, let me just show you. 3
Okay,
beers. You walk
okay,
up,
yeah.
give me 3 cold craft beers. 3 Bell's Two Hearted, please. Wow, that's gonna really set me back.
Hard to hold 3. You got to pinch one.
You gotta.
2.
Well, you pinch them, you slide them
Or
over.
you bite one, and hold it in your mouth.
That's a dangerous game, especially if you're wearing a white tuxedo like I like to wear. So I've got 3 beers.
Yeah.
You slam the walking beer.
Yeah.
Then in your right hand you have your wife's beer. In your left hand you have your beer.
Yeah.
You sip your wife's beer to keep it from spilling and work your way back.
Yeah.
Then you even them up before you enter the aisle, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got
yeah.
a little bit of her beer. By the time you sit down, that first beer is kicking in. She's gonna yell at you for some reason, but you don't care because the buzz is. And then you have
drink yours, and then you drink half of hers when she's
Yeah.
like, I only want half.
Well,
You're like, thank you.
You could pull another move that I like to do.
Two and a half
Not to
beers.
say that
This
I
doesn't
am.
work with me.
Not to say I am draft beer liar, but my wife likes to set her beer on the ground. What I'll do is I'll slam mine, then set mine on the ground near hers, and then do the move like, I don't know which beer I'm picking up. And I think I learned my
Yours
drinking
is
habits from Homer Simpson. I Homer Simpson my wife with draft beer every time I drink it.
Or any alcohol. Yeah. All right, bye-bye. Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, Samantha, and Butler all here. Let's jump into your voicemail messages. Tell people how they can get our app.
It's easy. Just go on your smartphone, whether you have an iPhone or some sort of Android.
Oh, I thought you were going to make something derogatory.
No,
Sounded like you were going to be like, whether you have an Apple phone or maybe you're poor, which is not the case. Most people have Android phones.
Just go to your app store and search Tom and Dan or a mediocre app, and it'll come up, and it's free, and download it. Everything's on there, and if you're a BDM, you just have to enter your name and password.
Easy
and
breathing.
then you can get all the BDM shows. All our merch is on there. Mediocre messages are on there. There's a bunch of the events that we're never going to do for a while.
Yeah.
But it's all on there, and it's free.
Hey, and remember, guys, in 2021, the Amway Center presents Dude Perfect. Sorry, I see the sign every time I'm driving down the road, and I just start laughing because it's like we're not even in 2021, and it's like the end of 2021, I think. Let's try this one. If you'll remember correctly, earlier this week, we had EJ come in, do a live, I believe it was a live, no, it was a Skyped Nerd Jog, but he's trying to get your sons into Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah, I usually don't leave a message, but I was listening to Nerd Jock.
Like a Cuban real man.
Yeah.
He'd had enough and had to get his phone and leave you a message, Tom.
And I guess the last one you guys just posted on ACT. I heard Tom talking about his sons wanting to get into Pokemon, and don't get them into Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is a hunk of S. Get them into a real Pokemon game. They have a Switch. Get them Pokemon Sword or Shield, and they'll enjoy that. I even think Dan will enjoy it because it's aesthetically pleasing. It looks kind of like Breath of the Wild or let me see what's
He gets choked up a little bit. I think you get the point. But
Thank you, Cuban real man.
yeah,
Pokemon Sword?
or Shield. There's
Okay.
two different games.
Pokemon.
Okay, all right.
Excuse me. Hey there. I'm going up to this there Babbage's and get them Pokemons.
So, what is considered the best game on the Switch?
Wow.
Is it Mario Kart
I mean, games are
Smash Brothers.
Subjective, man. It's whatever
yeah.
you like to play.
Yeah, but
It's
I mean,
weird that
like,
you and I were both like, it's subjective, man. Spoken like two video game stoners. Nice job, Sam.
for 4 and how old's my sons? 5 and 6
Oh,
year
man.
old.
I don't think you can go wrong with Mario
Get him
Kart.
the
though.
I Love You, Colonel Sanders game.
Maisie
Stupid.
loves Mario Kart.
Yeah.
She.
That's I'm getting them for Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, they'll love it, and they can play with
Mario
her.
Party.
Mario Party's good.
What is that?
Animal Crossing is good.
They probably would like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, May
Yeah.
likes Animal Crossing. She's playing it last night.
They just figured out how to build on Minecraft.
There you go. That's a great game.
And for whatever reason, like their favorite thing is for me to watch them play Minecraft or video games.
Get a 12-pack of White Claw, and you're the
Yeah.
best dad in the
Yeah.
world. What's wrong
This
with
is
you?
easy.
It's so boring.
No,
my God.
dude, you have to turn your mind off like
By
you
the
do
way-
when we're talking.
Well, I do that,
You
but
know,
Oh.
this is the start of the transition of them no longer being your best friends.
I
because
know,
now
I know.
the Switch is their best friend.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
have been listening to your therapist. You just totally
and now
got
they're
him.
like, we'll have our old best friend watch us play with our new best friend.
Yep,
It's
yep.
torture.
Yeah.
It's torture.
Sam,
You're the Woody, and the Switch is the Buzz.
It's like inviting your ex-wife to your wedding. Like, what are you doing? You don't want to go to that. So they're like, watch us play Mike, and I'm like, no, I got it busy. I'm doing this, and then they're playing it. They're so happy, way more happy
They probably
than
think
playing Monster or any of the games.
Okay, they're
they're disappointed when Crystal makes them turn it off, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll play Monster, I guess.
Yeah, they picked up. They picked up on the fact that they can read the disappointment in your face when they don't ask for Monster anymore.
Yeah.
They want the Switch, so they've picked up on that. But they do care about you, so they're like, yeah, just invite him over and
Yeah, they
have
don't
him
wanna leave you
watch.
out.
They don't want to leave you
Yeah.
out, but they also don't want to play with you anymore because
Right.
Monster sucks, dude. Let's be honest.
This
It sucks compared to.
Oh, it's been a long time coming.
Oh, compared to Mario flying through the air, flipping, throwing fireballs.
Yeah.
I compare this to Hugh Grant's wife hiring that hot young nanny. Like, it's like she knew what was coming, right? Like, it wasn't Hugh Grant the one that cheated on
Yeah,
his
but
nanny
it
or-
wasn't
I feel
a
like a
hot
lot of
young
people
nanny.
did that.
I thought it was.
Wasn't it a prostitute? Her name was Divine Brown, I think.
What was the
I
nanny?
think you guys
one?
are all getting all these stories mixed
No, look
up.
up-
What
I
was the
think-
celebrity? The Hugh Grant was a prostitute. What was the one that cheated with his nanny? Was it?
No, that was
Oh, you're
the
thinking Heath
British guy,
Ledger.
the blonde guy.
No,
What's his name? Jude Law?
Jude
right?
Law.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jude Law. Yeah, Jude Law's wife hiring the hot nanny. She exactly what happened when I brought in the Switch. I brought it in, and I knew it was going to take over. And
Who brought it in, though?
Well, I blame the doctor, the eye doctor, telling my wife
Dr. Mario.
that the small screen wasn't good for
Was
Tommy's
his
eyes.
last name GameStop? Dr. GameStop.
And then
Dr. Jonathan GameStop, Winter Park.
they learned how to build in Minecraft, so
So leave him alone.
they built this house, and they're like,
This is
look at my
fantastic.
house. And then they go in there bumping into the walls, and they're chopping the wall down, building it, chopping it down. I'm like, oh, God, this is boring to watch.
That's Legos.
What?
Build it up, tear it down. Build it up, tear it down.
But I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, look at this zombie. It fell down this hole. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what are you supposed to do? They're like, I don't know. And I'm like, watch a tutorial. They're like, I don't want to watch it.
they're exploring a new land.
You
Why
better-
can't you just explore?
Well, I'm like, how do you
This is
win?
how I feel every time I watch kids play anything.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always like, God, so dumb, so boring.
If you and
Yes.
I were cave people and we had just appeared on some island, right? Would you just be if I'm just like poking sand trying to figure out what the holes in my body are? I'm playing with orifices. I'm slapping my eyes. I don't know what anything is, and you'd be standing there and be like, "What are you even doing? What are you doing?
Yes,
you're wasting time." I'd be like, "No, I'm just exploring. They're just exploring, man. What's wrong with just exploring?"
Well, because while you poke your orifices, we're all gonna die. You gotta start working. How do you win this
Tom's
garbage?
a very get to the point kind of guy.
yeah, but his questions aren't.
So you can't go on like a
Because
quest
Jess-
because he
we
wants
ta-
just the ending.
We're talking to Jess Hilarious. I'm like, "Well, get to the goddamn point."
I'm like, are you supposed to build the biggest house, the best house? Are you going to kill all the zombies? Get to it. Kill them all.
Yeah.
Build them big. What are you doing?
Kill
You're
'em all,
just
build 'em big.
Isn't that what Trump said? To the
I think he did.
I think that's it.
You're chopping your wall down. You're building, and then you're like, I can't sleep in the bed. It's obstructed. I'm like, God damn it! And they can't read. So they're like, what does it say? I'm
They
like,
can't read?
It says
Well,
bed is
no,
bed is
that-
instructed, just like it said the 15 other times I told you.
No, they're still doing sight words. Tommy would be the reader, right? Like, and he's only 1 year in.
I mean, they understand the small, but it's like the long when they're like, please save. They're like, what does that say? I'm like, it says the same thing I just told you. And then
why don't you use that as a learning tool and help them sound it out and teach them how to read more?
Slow. You don't understand, Samantha. Like,
well, you're going to be there for hours anyway.
Yeah, but oh my God, doing the
interact educationally with your child.
Doing homework with Tommy is maybe the most single
Can you
frustrating
please video this
thing
and send it to us?
that anybody has ever done.
It's too long of a video.
I'm like Tommy, you gotta write these sight words on this paper.
It's the equivalent of like literally Joe Rogan when Bert stops by is like a 9-hour show.
And then I'm like, and then it says to write them in holiday colors. So I got you a red and a green colored pencil. So write the words. It's like, okay,
colored
all right.
pencil.
Yeah, because it says write it the words in holiday colors.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
a part
green
of
and yellow.
No, green and red.
Oh,
Green and
okay,
red.
sorry.
So we will accept silver and gold.
So then I'm like, one. The first word is one. O and
Okay.
E. One. All right. Zero. And then he changed. Then he's like O and green, and then he's like, let me change to red.
Oh, he's an artist.
And backwards. I'm like, no, it's backwards. And he's like, oh yeah. He erases it. Slow erasing.
And then slowly brushes it.
Yeah. Then he's like brushing it on, and there's still.
This is why I hate kids.
There's
man.
still eraser.
It's like watching paint dry.
There's still eraser crumbs on and the ball that's driving me crazy. And then he's like, and backwards again, again.
He's your son.
And then I'm like, oh God. And then the grid. I mean,
What did you think was going to happen when you had children?
12 minutes. I'm sitting there just so backwards the first time, erase. Backwards the second time, erase.
Sometimes backwards the third
doesn't
time.
learn his lesson when you tell him how to do something.
Yeah, I mean, interact. Like, if this is anything like interacting with me, it's the worst thing in the world.
It's the hardest part of my job.
It is the most frustrating thing I've ever dealt with in my entire life, dealing with myself.
Okay. Let's try
Wow.
how that was. Let's try. Can I do this?
Tom and Dan and Sam and Trav. Hey guys, it's Kenny, and I know you guys talk about Chris D'Elia a lot, and I actually have my own story regarding him. I actually was on a game show last year, The Match Game, and I taped it back in 2019, and Chris D'Elia was one of the panelists. Well, they were supposed to air the episode this year, and I got told by ABC, because of all the craziness that's been going on with him, that they will never air the episode. So they are cutting all ties with him. So they're not airing any episodes that he recorded. So my 15 minutes of fame are basically shot. So the world will never know if I won the $25,000 grand prize or not. Spoiler alert, I did. Anyway, I've also been on a bunch of other game shows and a bunch of other random talk shows and stuff.
I don't know.
Hold on, dude. We need to interview this guy.
Yeah, I know.
Somehow.
You know Kenny.
From Two Moves Podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Grand prize or not. Spoiler alert, I did.
He
Anyway,
did, right? He said I did.
Sounds like you did.
Can you still win even though they're not going to air the game show? Yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was
still a contest.
Yeah, I would imagine that they would sort of have to because they'd have to compensate you in some way, I feel like.
Yeah. I thought that maybe they're like, in gambling world, if the game, especially since COVID times, if the game gets rescheduled, then all the bets you made before that game just get refunded, and then they just start it over again.
Oh,
because
really? Yeah.
Because there's a stipulation like, we'll pay if the game is played on that scheduled date, but if it gets changed, then
because the circumstances change, weather, wind, sun.
I don't know if like TV game shows were like, we will pay if the show gets aired.
You might be right. It wouldn't surprise me. If they did that, I'd be like,
corporation.
Greedy corporation. Yeah. Let's see what else he says.
I've also been on a bunch of other game shows and a bunch of other random talk shows and stuff. If you guys ever wanted to talk to me about it, I can kind of let the listeners know, tips and tricks and how to get on game shows and other TV appearances. Not necessarily being an actor, just like as a contestant or like a random interview and stuff. Anyway, if not, I love you guys either way, but Chris D'Elia can go F himself. All right. Bye.
Not interested.
He was just literally, I think it was last week or the week before, he was on 4 different game shows like on the same day.
Really?
Kenny was, yeah. He posted about it.
Can we call it? He needs to start calling it as Mr. Game Show.
Yeah. We need to talk to him about
And
that.
we need
for
to do a
sure.
show called
Okay.
Mr. Game Show.
Is it? Do you get into these certain like groups
I think
or
it's
Reddit
like,
pages?
what was that show
or-
called? Like The Clapper, where it was about how you get into like live studio audiences and you kind of all know each other because you go to all these different
well,
shows.
the Price is Right documentary that they had, which is great, by the way. If anybody watches that, I
Not
think
interested.
It's but
Thank you, though.
But yeah, there's a whole group of they're kind of like game show. That's their thing.
like Prize Pigs.
Yeah. Where they know the ins and outs. They get to know the producers. They know when to sign up at the right times. It's kind of like remember Andrew's mom would know sweepstakes and she'd know when to enter and like so you just learn the ins and outs of it and then you give yourself a better chance of being on the show. Therefore, you're in all these shows, I guess. Because how many people? I mean, have you ever applied to be in a game show?
Yeah.
You have?
I made it to the second round of a new show that was supposed to be sort of like a Big Brother type show. And
Really?
and remember me and Tiffany went and did the in-person interview.
Wasn't that Amazing Race? I thought
think-
it was Amazing
I
Race.
thought
It-
SBK was trying to get on
It
Amazing
may have been
Race.
Amazing Race like, but I don't believe it was the actual Amazing Race. But it was like that. Yeah, because I remember I went and got to the next part. But no, I've never been on a. That's the only one I've ever applied to.
But yeah, I feel like most people, the average person.
Well,
never
no,
want-
one more. I applied to
The Real World.
when WGN used to do the Bozo Show.
The Bozo Show.
Oh, what's the Bozo?
Bozo the Clown.
Hold on,
And
wait.
you'd go on the show. It was like a kid's show.
Were you a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
What
was a
is that?
kid.
Was that
I was like, what the hell?
1967?
No, it wasn't that long. They,
My
I mean,
God,
they had
I
a
don't-
newer
Bozo the Clown,
Bozo the
recall
Clown.
that.
Look up Bozo the Clown, you bozos.
I thought Bozo the Clown was racist.
I mean,
I don't think so.
Yeah, like an old bozo.
No, you're thinking of Sambo,
Oh, okay.
which is definitely racist.
So were you a kid and
Yeah.
you were gonna be on Bozo the Clown?
No, I submitted. I never got picked,
Ah, okay.
but I filled out the form and like
he
mailed
was
it.
introduced in 1946.
And it was
in
D-
television in 1949.
WGN.
It was WGN.
Yeah, Chicago.
This also says an iteration of Bozo the Clown at WFGA TV in Jacksonville in 1961.
No, this
This
was
is the most well-known design.
No, this was the
Creepy as hell.
Yeah, he's pretty creepy. You know, old what's his name? The Weatherman used to be a Bozo the Clown. The guy that always shouts out the people's ages.
What?
Oh yeah.
Not the Fudge Man.
Yeah. The old man. The old Ben and Jerry's.
I want to say Wilford Brimley, but it's not Wilford
But
Brimley.
it's Wilford. Yeah, it's weird.
It's
old man
Willard Scott.
tells
Willard
you.
Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Pulled that one right out of my rump. Willard Scott.
Talk about the most
And he'd be
throwaway
like,
segment
Yeah, we
of
got
all
the happy
time.
birthdays brought to you by Smuckers. Tom Van. Tom Van's 109 today. Go get him, Tom Van and Samantha Har. Look at how cute she is. She's 106 years old. This is all brought to you by Smuckers, the worst jelly in the world.
Yeah, it's all like old people names or Ruth.
Yeah,
and,
right, yeah.
It was like Broomhilda. It's like, all right, Broomhilda turned 103. Like, what do
Janet.
I care? Like, who cares?
Rita, Janet.
Their family
Gertie.
cares, but like, does the rest of the world even see that? And is there any entertainment value to there? Is it just filler?
Well, why? Those people they can't even hear you saying that. Right?
Do they give them a heads up so they can turn on the TV and
No,
look at it? No,
no.
is it just random?
Yeah. Did you hear it? No, of course they didn't. I'm basically dead.
Yeah, it's 102. My
No, a lot
God.
of them are old. Like
Yeah, yeah,
109, 112.
Yeah.
But did they say when it ended?
I'm sure it did.
It's fine. You're
gave up on Bozo
Yeah,
a
you're like,
long
I'm
time
I'm
ago.
outta
Do
here.
another one.
Tom and Dan and Sam and Trap. Hey, it's Kenny, and I know it's a couple weeks old, but you were talking about the Masked Singer. And
Okay, sorry. That was the same one we did.
Oh.
It got taken off different markets at different times. So the latest is like 1980, it looks like.
Imagine all the people that were on the Hollywood Squares when Bill Cosby was up there. That'll never be seen like that.
yeah.
You're like, damn it, there are no reruns ever again.
Well, but then there's been a lot of there's been episodes of game shows that had to be scrapped because there was remember that one serial killer was on
yeah,
Mystery Date or whatever
Yeah,
dating game or something. There's always been
Yeah.
Something like that. My favorite, though, is the one that's recent when it was like College Week on Wheel of Fortune, and it's like a younger black guy, and he keeps getting all the answers wrong and losing all the prizes.
No,
You've seen that, right? It's
No.
It's like a viral video.
I don't think I've seen it either.
What is it? It's like he gets everyone wrong.
Yeah, it's like worst wheel. I love these.
Oh, because he's guessing hard, like it's obvious, and he guesses it wrong every time.
Oh, here it is. Okay, I absolutely love these with all my heart. They're my favorite videos. Are people on game shows.
This is how skeptical I am. I'm wondering, like, is he doing it on purpose just
Right.
because he knows
And
that
just
it'll
to
go
get on
viral?
TV, yeah.
I thought that would be the case. Yes. Yeah. I 100%.
Or is it edited? Oh no, I guess it couldn't.
Okay,
be
I 100%
He's
thought
trolling.
that he trolled. But here, I'm going to let you decide. So here it is. This is the most epic. I don't even know how we got to this.
Game shows.
Okay, it says University of Indiana student fails on not just one puzzle but 3 puzzles. One of the biggest epic fails I've ever seen on Wheel of Fortune. So here we go.
That's all. Oh, well, that'd be a good idea, yeah.
And now it says mythological hero Achilles.
Right.
It's all there's not even one white square
No.
where you can't see
Yeah,
a
it's
letter.
all spelled out.
It's only a solve at this point. So here we go.
By the way, I'd lose this. Too.
I know you would. I was like, oh.
Mythological hero Achilles.
Now he might not have known.
Yeah, he just can't read.
Mythological hero Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
And then wait for it.
You can't accept that. Okay. Shelby.
I'll solve.
Yeah.
Mythological hero Achilles.
Yeah.
Just
that's
give it to him.
No, guys,
I don't like this.
No, I knew you were gonna say
I'd be
that.
disappointed in the
Ooh, Achilles.
This is like me in that last.
This is
like,
you.
No, 2 interviews a couple days ago. I don't know when this there. When I was like, she's been in Broadway tours, including Hamilton, and I looked and I was like, less miserable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He would have lost.
Yeah,
Tom would have
yeah.
lost this too.
Yeah,
So that's the first
leave
one.
this guy alone.
That's the first one. Here's the second.
Leave him alone.
Wait for it.
Well, when it comes to names, one woman could be helpful just go with the name, and even though the letters are up
Come
there,
on, Sajak, you're-
because you have to solve it. Yeah, there's a D.
All right, here we go. Okay, so yeah, okay,
it says
so
world's fastest,
Fastest.
and then it says what appears. I'm gonna. I
is
would
it blank?
A blank.
A blank.
world's fastest, and then blank a blank.
It's obviously man.
World's fastest man.
yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
what I would guess.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see.
C.
Can I solve?
Yeah.
He guessed V. I guess he
I
wanted
think I heard C. Like he thought it was world's fastest cat.
or car.
Oh, did he
Oh,
say C
car.
or V?
I
Because
thought it was a V.
Maybe he
Like
did
world's
say-
fastest van.
Yeah, right. Oh,
I love this guy.
You've never seen this?
This is Tom's
Dude, this
favorite.
is so old. I can't believe you haven't
This
seen this.
is
This is
Blacktop
you.
Man.
Blacktop Man.
C.
See.
Oh, he thought it was cat.
Yeah.
The world's fastest man.
Yeah, that's
or maybe he
it.
thought it was car.
Car, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
But there's an R already up
Look at
there.
it. Look at it. Look at it.
so sad
Oh,
he is.
wait. It's going
Come
again.
on, Sajak, quit walking over there and shaming him.
I
because-
know.
No, that's what he does every time.
I
That's
know,
his
but
job.
you- but
All
you-
right,
You
here.
got to skip it this time.
Here's the really good one.
Okay.
Just hold on.
Laura.
C.
1C.
Okay.
Okay, it says, and you can
It's a-
look
it's
at
a
it.
thing.
It looks to me to say on the spot, and I would say decision.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. I'm not good at this game, by the way. I'm just,
Yeah, because there's a blank N, then a dash, TH blank.
Yeah, the category
and a
is
dash,
thing.
SP blank T. So yeah, that would make sense
On
on
the
the spot.
spot.
And then there's a D, a C, S, and an N in the next word. So
Yeah.
yeah, decision makes
On the spot
most sense,
decision
yeah.
seems correct.
Julia. Everything just follows. Right?
Let's solve.
Go ahead.
On the spot dice spin.
On the spot dice spin.
Oh, now,
Like-
you make a lot of racist
Like
people
Dungeons and Dragons?
clown you. I'm sorry, Blacktown fan, but why'd you have to guess dice spin?
On the spot.
Also, how are you winning? He's winning by $1,500.
You're right.
He's been crazy.
Why do you think we say the company's still chugging down? I mean, paychecks are cash. Something's happening.
How is this idiot winning?
I think there might be a little. Hold on.
Shelby?
On the spot decision.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, now
Oh, this poor guy.
Oh, there's another one I thought where they kind of go to him. He's oh, the old on-the-spot dice spin. I can't believe you've never seen that. This is one of my favorite things.
What's amazing about Black Tom Van, which I can relate to, is how much confidence he had to solve the puzzle after 2 horrible fails. Like, it didn't deter him from saying solve.
Well, all he had to
because every time he said solve, he was confident.
All he had to do is give a vowel. Because Pat even says, hey, it's only vowels now. And he's like, I'm solving.
Yeah.
Going in. If I can go 2 vowels, I can go 4 vowels. And 4 vowels, 8 vowels.
Overconfident. It says it with passion. Wrong.
Oh, we're way over.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha and Butler are here, and you looked at me, and then you yelled at me. You're like, I got something I want to get off my chest.
Oh, no.
I didn't. I just said I got something.
That's true. I lied.
You two look so cute. You match.
Oh, man. You know what? I'm not taking it from you.
Oh, we got a new merch.
We do look pretty cute,
Yeah.
right? I think we look pretty cute.
And then got the
Got the new
brand
logos on.
Tom and Dan baseball tee.
What's wrong with your sleeves?
Well, they're the baseball quarters. I just can't decide.
No, those are
Do you
poorly
let them hang?
made.
You pull them up? I don't know.
Do your sleeves hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie me in a knot? Can you tie me in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier?
Wait, is that the Ice Cream Man song that's racist?
Might be.
Okay.
Might be. But I don't normally when I'm purchasing the ice cream though. I don't ask him anything about it. I just I'm there for ice cream. I don't want to get into his politics.
So I was watching Real Sports last night, like an old man, like watching tried and true
Watching
Real Sports.
Mayberry RFW last night,
and they did a couple interesting stories. One was on psychedelics and how people are treating themselves for depression and CTE, like the effects of CTE, and using psychedelics. So they followed like an NFL football player, a couple MMA fighters, and interviewed a lot of these people that like they were having a hard time, severe depression, and they were attributing it to concussions. And these people are like, I've had like 10 or 15 diagnosed concussions and probably hundreds of mini concussions throughout playing. And then like the MMA fighters.
I actually think it might be higher than that.
And there was a hockey player that was just like basically a fighter, and so
high impact sports.
Yeah. And so they were talking about,
I'm going to start a company called that.
They were talking about how they were going through depression and suicidal thoughts and like memory loss and all these negative things, right?
Really bad things
that they attributed to their head injury, and then they went and did ayahuasca, and they actually showed.
I'm going to have to stop you there. I believe it is ayahuasca. And we've been talking about it for 10 years, and I just can't take it anymore.
Okay,
that's the one that gets you?
Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I mean, is it tomatoes, ayahuasca?
I think it's ayahuasca. Ayahuasca sounds like Hiawatha, which is like a made-up Indian boy.
Ayahuasca is when I get high and drink whiskey.
Okay.
Ayahuasca.
So it's ayahuasca.
I think it's ayahuasca,
Okay,
but I may be wrong because I just think it's ayahuasca because I'm under the guide.
So
we got an email about you. You're back to saying under the guide again. Instead of under the guys.
Yeah.
That's the head injury.
Okay. I see where you're going.
It's all going to me doing ayahuasca.
I apologize.
I've been saying I want to do this for years, and you guys keep talking me out of it.
No. I keep talking you out of doing ayahuasca.
Right.
I'll let you do ayahuasca.
You say I'm going to poop my pants.
You probably will poop your pants.
Well,
I think it's a guaranteed pants poop.
So
no, it didn't happen to Chelsea Handler.
I don't believe that. Chelsea Handler doesn't go a day without pooping her pants, I feel like.
First,
I'm very attracted to her.
there's a couple things. One is I was surprised at how much they were kind of touting this, and I mean they mentioned that like
were they very open about it, like just like this is.
Oh yeah, I mean they had a couple doctors and then that have been studying this for years and talking about how it works, and basically they were explaining that it helps kind of rewire your brain.
I need that.
And he was like, basically your brain has.
Can I do that?
As it ages, it forms these wirings, how you think and whatever, and it kind of becomes set in its ways. You know, your brain is lazy, right? Like,
this is exactly what my therapist was talking about with deceptive brain messages and how your pathways. She doesn't use the term lazy, but I like that. That makes sense to me. It's more along the lines of just.
It's not going to change unless you force it to.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's just like it's kind of they've done studies about people getting in accidents near their house and stuff, and like literally look left and right and they never see the car that hits them because their brain literally did not show it to them. They didn't show them reality. All it did is take an old memory and replace that with reality to save time, right? That's why witnesses are so horrible, because the people remember misinformation all the time.
Although the movie with Harrison Ford, I believe, is a masterpiece.
So basically they were saying when you take these, and I can't say it properly, these things that make you hallucinate.
Why don't you just say, instead of
hallucinogens?
Haya, just drop the ha off. Just say ayahuasca.
Hallucinogen.
Like Tom Van, actually thinks different.
Well, they were saying that it's not only ayahuasca, but it can be
mushrooms,
mushrooms
ketamine,
too. Yeah. There's other things, but basically they were saying that when you take a high dose of it, it basically makes your brain explode with.
I don't want that.
With all of a sudden it's firing crazy all over the place.
Oh, I like that.
And
or should I not like that?
No.
I think that's what I'm doing right now.
They were showing how that once it explodes and you go through this experience on a very powerful hallucinogen. That basically.
Oh, you can't say hallucinogen.
Yeah, that's the word.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just point at me.
In that once you're done with that, then your brain literally has opened up new pathways of thinking and new wires.
So
and
in effect, it's
people
like
are talking
putting
about
the balloon in an artery and blowing up an artery in order to make it
more blood
to clear it.
It's kind of like
That's
that,
interesting.
or it's like you get set in your pattern of thinking and your depression or whatever you're dealing with, and you need some sort of thing to break up those patterns and to make you think a different way, and that's how they basically explained it. Now, what I'm sure that it doesn't work like this for it's not like a 100% antidote or cure to your depression or suicidal thoughts or whatever your CTE symptoms that you're having.
Yeah.
But this one hockey player guy was like, I was thinking about killing myself. I had a plan. I was so depressed. I haven't been happy in years. There's
terrible.
And then the wife was like, this person was
He's right.
not the person. Yeah. And then after he did this ayahuasca one time, he's like,
I've been wanting to do it.
I haven't had suicidal thoughts. I've been not depressed. I've been happy. I've been better with my kids.
But I have not stopped pooping my pants. In fact, we're going on day 46, and it is just a straight up sewage plant in my bedroom.
Now here's and then it makes you.
There it is.
It makes you curious to this seems like a miracle drug. Now here's my problem with it. First, it's kind of, I would debate whether that's probably works just like any medication for some people and some don't.
I just don't like all
it's
the
not
pomp
like
and
everybody.
circumstance around it. I don't like going to a teepee tent. Can't I just sit on the couch and you just give me a pill and I take it and I freak the F out? Why do I got to go to your tent and breathe the smoke and whack the feathers and hit the goat skull?
So they showed a couple different how the people take these drugs.
How you administer the drug. I don't need a sacramental table. I don't need a goblet.
So they showed some of the doctors that do this with, I'm guessing, a high dose of mushrooms or MDMA or whatever, and they're literally in what looks like a doctor's room or kind of more like a massage like a medical
Oh, hey
massage
now.
room where they try to make it comfortable, and the person's like sitting there with their like like they take their shoes off and then they take it, and then there's a blood pressure cuff on them. There's a doctor monitoring them, and then they have a freak out, right? Like and they go through.
They show a freak out?
Yeah, they show
now I kind of want to watch.
What kind of a freak out?
I mean, they're just like, oh my god, they're tripping balls.
I'm tripping balls.
Yeah, just like your buddy in college did.
I do not want to commit suicide anymore, but I'm freaking out.
They're tripping balls in like what looks like a doctor's office. But
man.
but the ayahuasca, like I don't think medical doctors have really gotten into the ayahuasca. They've gotten into the mushrooms and the MDMA. But so the ayahuasca, you have to do either go down to South America or with some sort of shaman.
No, there's a church here in Orlando. We can all go.
Oh, but the way they do it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm
because
not gonna pray before I do it. Just give it to me.
and there's I don't want to do it with a bunch of other
with
people
you.
in the
What
room.
about just us?
And the hippie that is playing the drum, or
I would do it with just us.
So
I'd have to wear a diaper.
Whoa.
So the funny part,
No, you gotta have clothes on. You can't just be
Yeah,
wearing a
I'm
diaper.
gonna have clothes
oh,
on,
okay.
too,
Well, I
yeah.
thought you were just gonna wear a diaper because I was gonna
No.
say Tom ain't gonna be able to concentrate.
So the funny part about this
There's
is
a topless girl over there wearing a diaper.
No, man, you're just tripping. You're just tripping.
I think she's pooping. She's really tall.
so
She's got pink hair.
they showed this experience with this MMA fighter that he had been having problems like CTE related symptoms.
I've been pooping in Gatorade bottles all the time.
Yeah, like he's like I drink 20 beers a day. I'm like, God damn, that's a lot. Or he's had 20 beers a night.
20
Yeah.
beers a night. You know how
Put me
many
to
relatives
sleep.
I have
And
that drink
like-
20 beers a night?
And he was doing like full French fries, Annie bars, and 20 beers. Like, God damn, this guy's a real
yeah,
man.
that is a lot.
But anyway, so
God, a full French fry, just one of those, and I'm gone for 4 days.
Yeah. I think an OD on 20
If
beers.
I
and a full
take a
French
full,
fry.
I've taken one accidentally before. I don't even know what it is. And if I take that, I'm literally B.A. Baracus. I went to the Bahamas one time. I woke up. I went on the plane, took the French fry, woke up, and we were arriving at home. I missed the whole. I missed the whole trip to the Bahamas.
So anyway,
So hard to wake up.
So this guy is trying to do the ayahuasca, and so there's him and what looks like a bunch of other maybe ex-MMA fighters and stuff like. And the only reason I say that is
And
because
there's
they
always
like full
one guy
tattoos
in
and
an army fatigue jacket, and
Yeah.
he's leading the meeting.
So he's sitting there, and there's pillows. He was sitting Indian style in a circle, like stereotypical. The guy that's
It's either ayahuasca
shaman.
or it's couples therapy, and you're about to swap wives. There's only two things you're doing: either psychedelics or wife swapping.
And then the shaman is like is the stereotypical
There's no
hippie.
such thing as a shaman, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess
No, but it's like a made-up word. It's like
Everything's a made-up
It's
word.
like when somebody says they're an influencer. I feel like no, you're just a new shaman.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just a dumb, not even a real thing.
And so this guy,
That's not true at all.
A shaman is not. I mean, okay, so a guy that
It's a
just
spiritual leader, just like a priest or
Yeah,
a preacher.
But
or
what I'm saying is, no matter
nun.
what he believes in, it's all garbage, right?
so
Like,
this guy, the 20 beers a day MMA fighter guy, who I feel sorry for because he was slurring real bad, and like you could tell this guy's been punched way too many times, you know. And so he's got the paper cup, and then he's sipping it, and then the real
Paper cup?
Yeah, they give everybody they give their.
Now you got to drink out of a wooden bowl.
the
Everybody
stew.
knows it's not going to work.
I think this was in the United States. So
tastes like purple monster
they
energy.
as they give it to him, and he's chugging it. The Real Sports narrator is like, and now he's taking 10 times the recreational dose that a normal person would take.
Why would he do that?
Because that's what you need to rewire your brain. You need to freak
man.
out.
So how much do
Well,
I
I don't
need?
want to take that much.
So then I was like, oh my God, watch out, 20 beers a day. I like you, and you're going to freak
And
out.
he's gonna start punching.
And then
Do they have to because
They strap
it
him
was
down.
a fighter, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, do they have to strap him down?
no,
They put him
because
in one of
he-
those like bowl chutes that
Like-
they put a bull in before they brand it.
All of a sudden,
my
they
God.
do that blur transition to show that there's a change in time, right? Or whatever. And then
what do they just show him at a CC's Pizza, give him a thumbs up? You know?
No, but they cut to like 15 or half an hour
When it
later.
kicks in.
Oh,
And
and
he's like, "Oh."
so everybody else is laying down on the floor, right? All the other people in the circle, whatever, and they're all freaking out. And this guy is they gave him a bucket because I think he was about to
puke.
Give me my squeezing bucket.
He's holding his bucket, and this guy is freaking out.
I want to see it.
He's like, and then he's sitting there, and he's like, no. He's like, he's like, I just died. Oh my god. And then it's like,
I don't want to do that.
Oh man.
And he's like, I just died. And then
I'm dying.
Wait,
again.
you thought that at the dentist?
I know. I was
And then
terrified.
he called me. He's like, if you can hear this, I just died. I'm like, you're at the dentist, dude.
So, and then he's having the long conversation with the shaman about how he just died and all this stuff. And then they interview him after, and he's like, I'm better now. Like,
Did they ask him how he died in his trip?
I think,
Because what if he's like predicting the future?
you know, his memory, he just hallucinated that he died. Then he talked, and then there was another guy that he claimed that he talked to his grandparents, had a long, that he saw.
This is all like,
That happens a lot.
But all of them were like, I feel so much. And the 20 beer guy, he's like, I haven't touched a Xanax or a beer since this. And I'm like, really? How do you go for 20 beers a night?
A lot of people that want to get sober will go down to Peru and do ayahuasca, and it works.
But does it take away your chemical addiction?
Well,
because
the
your
thing that-
body is so used to
It
alcohol.
rewires your brain.
Well, the
Yeah, but
thing
that's
that-
not. I mean, your chemical addiction is different than a mental
The
addiction.
thing that bothers me about it is what's the success rate?
There's not enough studies. Apparently, they
Because
If
I
they
only
need volunteers.
they blame Ronald Reagan.
war on drugs.
They had in the 60s and 70s. I don't know when Reagan. When's Reagan?
I'm not
End of the
pooping
70s?
my pants.
80s was it, Reagan was the 80s, right? Early 80s.
Yeah.
So apparently they were experimenting with this, and doctors were
Mr. Gorbachev, poop your pants.
with LSD. Oh, by the way, they showed old timey footage of the same thing, like a 1950s like standard.
Here we are,
businessman.
Charlie. He's gonna try ayahuasca for the first time.
I know. And then he's like, he's like some fighter pilot or like.
You can't do that. You
know-
gotta have ayahuasca before you bring Daddy his slippers and ties.
He's like some military man. He's got his sleeves rolled up and then like took off his jacket. And they're like, yeah, Jim is taking 18 times the normal dose. It sounds like you're giving him too much.
And then they do the same
And then
more, and then he's like,
and then-
I feel great. Never felt better. Back to the factory.
He's crying. He's freaking out there. I'm like, don't show him crying. This is a military man. Like, because he's tripping balls.
But their science at the time, because, you know, men weren't supposed to cry, they're like, obviously, ayahuasca has made this man gay. And they're like way off. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. So,
And remember, cigarettes are good for you.
yeah. So anyway, then so that was the problem with they halted all the the doctor and experiments in science because when the war on drugs happened, they
Well,
ceased
then they make more money off pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah. They basically
It's terrible.
Yeah, and they said no more studying LSD.
So we're doing it then, right?
I'm in.
I'm afraid. Nothing.
You'll be all right.
The
There
only
was
ones
one-
I've heard are the people that come back and they're not the same. That's the scary
it's-
part. Is that, but because you hear about the success stories, but you also hear about guys who's like, yeah, I had a buddy and he went and did ayahuasca, and when then he came back, he thinks he's like a black girl now. Like they completely
think that's
change your
urban
entire
legend.
Yeah, I've never
personality.
heard of that one.
Because all the stories were yes, they are changed, but changed
For
for
the
the better
better,
after
yeah.
because of they were treating themselves. Now I don't know if there's nothing wrong with you and you do ayahuasca. Could it change you for the worse? I don't know. And there's probably not enough studies on it or whatever.
Well, which one are we doing, Aya or Haya?
Sorry, Aya. So
I'll
then
do both.
there's
I'll
one.
do Haya this weekend.
There was this one. See, certain people like I have a tendency to freak out because I'm up in my own
I don't
head.
think I've ever seen you freak out.
Well, it's like I've taken too much marijuana before, and I've had a private freak out. You know,
Private freak out.
Of course, it's like
I'm your private freak out for money.
I.
Do what you want me to do.
That's a good song to sing.
It causes my brain thinking too much, and then I go down crazy thing. Like I freak out, and I'm afraid if. There was one NFL player that went down and did it, and they showed him, and he was like smiling, and he's like, oh, like he looked like he was having a good time. Like I was
Right?
like, that's a better marketing because he looked like he was tripping balls, but like smiling, and like he was in a white.
You know what I want to feel like when I do
Boys
drugs?
and Men, River Runs Dry.
Yeah. When I do drugs, I want to have the amount of excitement and the amount of fun that little chupacabra-toothed child has when he does the dance in the stands. You know the little kid that doesn't know that they're filming him, and then they put the camera on him, and he's in the stands at like a soccer match, and then he just starts boofing the air.
Yeah.
That kid's having so much fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to feel like when I'm on drugs. I want to just be boofing and dancing and getting it.
Yeah. It's a lot of these experiences were terrifying.
Yeah,
You're
a lot of
laying
them
on
are
the
Just
ground.
giving them way too much.
Or
of
you
a
get,
dose.
or the other one was what's the other drug that you do?
Well, can
and it's
you
real
microdose
quick
it?
and it like
DMT.
No, not DMT. It's salvia.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Remember when
No
salvia
way.
But
was
that's
like
almost like you're poisoning your brain.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I mean, I guess anything
your
can
brain-
be considered poison if
I
enough
guess,
of
yeah.
it is toxic to your body, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a story about a guy who lost 7 years of his life. I'm not doing that one.
Is there? Now, can you microdose?
Salvia?
No.
You can probably microdose anything.
Ayahuasca.
Probably.
Yeah, but it might not do anything. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's interesting because you can microdose mushrooms and
Maybe it
LSD
only
and
makes you like
MDMA.
a little poop in your
a little
I'm
squirt.
microdosing my underwear right now with poop.
It's but they did. I was surprised that Real Sports didn't put more of a cautionary tale on it, and it was mainly all like they didn't really say like, hey, this doesn't work like this for everybody. You got to be a certain.
Right.
Like, it was just like it did. They kind of framed it as a miracle cure for these type of ailments.
Interesting.
You ever done ecstasy?
No.
You ever done ecstasy?
No, but I want to.
Me too.
God, you
Who
guys
get
are
their hands
so
on it?
square.
I know.
No,
The
I've done a lot
problem
of
is
other
when I'm
stuff.
on ecstasy, I want to put my hands on it, if you know what I mean.
Norm in the chat says he smoked salvia and ended up running across his yard hunched over with the feeling that gravity was forcing him to the ground.
Well, that's just because you're fat. You just fell over.
Yeah, gravity is actually forcing you to
Yeah.
the ground.
You just
felt-
described a fat guy falling over doing salvia.
Yeah, just say you got high and felt gravity, and you succumbed to it.
Hey, when I get high, I get smaller.
So another story that you may find interesting, Daniel, is they did a expose on extreme sports fans, like the Dolphin Dandies.
Yeah, we were
And-
just talking about
and
Dolphin Dandies.
Are you familiar with the Atlanta Falcons super fan? They call her the Bird Lady.
No.
Okay, so she was part.
I know
of this,
Freddie Falcon's their mascot. I know all of that.
No,
I've never seen this.
This
lady.
is the Dolphin Danny version of the Falcons, and
Cool.
she's called the Bird Lady.
Is she old?
She's an older black woman, and she dresses in super elaborate, like Mardi Gras
All
style.
right, that's cool.
Like she got like sequin and like
So you got like
wings,
that awesome Atlanta Southern like
headpieces,
Yeah,
like
all
you know,
right,
like,
all
like
right.
kind of like Carnival, like because she dresses like she's
I
in
like that.
Carnival, but it's all
Oh,
like
I'm gonna have to
Raiders.
look her up.
Here's what we
Who dat?
can do, since you might be too scared for the ayahuasca. I forgot until someone just mentioned it in the chat, but you gave me an angel trumpet tree. We can
I mean,
make
we killed it.
we could make some tea.
Did it flower yet?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't done
It's
anything.
dead.
Did
It's
you
been
water
dead
it?
for
Yeah,
years.
I'm watering it. It's not
It did-
doing a
but
damn
it
thing.
had to have grown.
It hasn't grown not 1 centimeter. I'm telling you.
Hold on, it
I am
grew.
telling you, it's exactly the same as when you gave it to me.
It grew like crazy in 2 months. Like I started that from a cutting that was
but
like 6 inches.
I came over. I ate all the trumpets out of it.
My mother-in-law has a huge one, and it's got trumpet
Well,
crazy.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go
Do
try.
it on- we can do it on Twitch for bonus content.
In high school, I heard that a bunch of people, like kids in Miami, were jumping out the window
gotta
and eating their
microdose.
girlfriend's face and
Eating their
You can't.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted. I vetoed. Did you hear that? I just on vetoed.
Well, I mean,
Hold on.
I feel like we can get the real stuff. We don't have to bum it.
That
and-
is the real stuff. What do you mean?
Well, we
No,
need
well, that's not what
we just
ayahuasca's
need
made
to
out of.
find
No,
a
but it's a
doctor.
hallucinogen.
We're gonna need a doctor, and we're
Well,
gonna
we can
need
get shrooms.
and we'll do it live on the show.
I can get shrooms, no problem. I mean, tons of BDMs have offered me shrooms.
Well, what the hell? Look it
Garbage,
up.
They got garbage
I'm
bags
not
of
doing
shrooms.
What do I look like?
love shrooms.
Yeah, what do I look like? I'm Country Joe in the Fish or whatever. What am I? Woodstock?
No, but now they
Throw some mud at Limp Bizkit. I'm not doing
Yes.
shrooms.
you can get them from Colorado or I think Oregon now. Like I think
They
you can buy them.
decriminalized everything, yeah.
So you
they're
can buy them
wide
in capsules with just powder of shrooms. You know what I'm saying, with the exact dose.
I'm just gonna go back to Kratom.
So back to the super fans. So they were showing all these people are obviously like this was their whole identity and this is what they did and was known for. And now because there's no fans in the stadiums, that they have nothing to do and they're all depressed and stuff.
Oh.
But they did show about why they did it, and like this is a question I've always asked. Like, and in fact, we were making fun of these super fans, like the Dolphin Dandies and stuff. Like, what's in it for you?
Did
Why?
they ever have a story where you're like, legit.
Yes, all of them. And the reason why is because every single one of them grew up and like had some sort of trauma or like horrible upbringing or whatever.
Oh my God,
And-
Dolph Van Danny and sexual
I don't know.
abuse. My
Well,
God,
Dolph Van Danny wasn't in there.
Terrible.
A couple of them
My
like
father would put his fingers in my blowhole.
they all had some sad ass stories, like especially
Yes,
like
yes.
Bird Lady.
Oh,
Like,
don't tell me about poor.
dude, Bird Lady adopted a child.
Stop.
That's all she wanted to do. She could never have. She had like a bunch of miscarriages. She adopted a child with this guy, and then the guy freaked out and couldn't take it, and said, I'm out of here. I don't want to. And then so when he left, the adoption agency was like, well, your situation has changed, and they took the kid back.
Isn't that terrible?
Oh my God!
It was like
Because a woman can't raise a baby on her own.
the Queen's
Well,
Gambit.
that I believe, but
So-
I mean, I do think it should be case by case.
Unfortunately, a lot of them have to because guys are POSs that will leave.
And
I was just thinking of
they
leaving
may have determined that she's a little bit nutty.
Oh, well then,
There's a
little bit of
lady
that.
dressed like
She's
a
fine.
falcon in our lobby. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
left that part
I
out.
think her husband just left. Just use that as an excuse and don't say anything about her beak.
Well, the thing, they let her adopt the kid, but with the husband, when the husband took off, she would have
Right.
been fine, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, but then there was the guy that, you know, the Raiders fan that dresses up like a gorilla. Like he got
No, I don't.
You don't know that guy?
You're naming all these people I've never heard of.
He's
it's the whack pack for
Dolph Van Danny is really the only
he's
one.
like gorilla.
Vanilla Gorilla?
No, like something like that. And he's like full gorilla costume and Raiders guy. He's the Dolph Van Danny of the
Okay.
Raiders. And all that he had a horrible childhood raising like both his parents were like drug addicts and were raised by his uncle.
Sometimes I wish I'd been raised by actual gorillas.
You want to know why I'm a Disney fanatic?
yeah. And now I'm starting to understand. I'm like,
All
yes,
right,
and
my trauma.
And they were saying that that this gave him a purpose and it gave him family, and they considered all because they get to know all the other
Yeah.
extreme fans, and now they're like
I think
and
that's a
That's
heartwarming, sweet story. Yeah, it's cute.
And so
I like that.
and that made more sense. I was like, oh, okay, like this is your thing now, and this is what you're known for, and this is what like everybody needs a hobby, everyone needs a club,
And if it eases your trauma, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Go crazy.
Except for the sad because they can't go to the games now, so
I
they're sitting at home
almost feel
miserable.
like-
Oh,
I
you
mean,
think they
it-
still dress up at home?
I mean, look, if nobody's gonna be there, and these guys
That's the saddest
dedicated their
part.
life to the brand, right? And they did it for free. It's not like they
Let them come.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let them go and let
Super
them
by
dance
themselves,
around.
yeah.
It's 6 feet. What do you mean 6 feet? Nobody here. So let the,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
talking lady dance crazy.
Yeah.
It helps her trauma, and it doesn't hurt you, and then it gives you something to cut to when.
Right.
Although the purpose, like she likes being with a bunch of people.
Well,
and,
hey.
yeah.
Tough
At least you got,
cheese said the-
at least you got something.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Beggars can't be choosers.
Then there was
We're all in this together, Tom. I don't know if you've heard that. Write that down.
Okay.
I don't think anybody said that.
There was this guy that it's the version of this, but for baseball, and he's the banjo man for the Oakland A's.
I can't believe
And
you
he's-
remember all
Yeah,
these.
he's an old man that he brings his banjo and he plays. And apparently, like they alluded to the fact where he started selling these hats with the stupid helicopter thing on top. You know,
Oh
like
my
People
God.
being too
Like
low.
he's
the
an old
hat
hippie.
that- The hat that like notoriously is used to show that people are
yeah,
stupid.
yeah. What's
So,
that?
a
Yeah,
propeller hat.
yeah. That big,
Like the
big dummy.
It's like a dunce cap almost.
The big dummy and like Mickey Mouse or whatever that big
Look,
giant.
if you're just being honest, it's the hat they would put on R-word people
Yeah.
in cartoons. They would. They put that on there, and then they'd spin the top of it, and then the guy would just be like,
So then they're like, he's wearing his banjo man. Like, all right, dumb old man. He's like he's like an old hippie, whatever. And then they're like, and Banjo Man has sold 2 million R-word hats with the propeller. I'm like, 2 million, my God! And so these people have figured out ways, and then apparently the gorilla guy has turned it into like a social media following, and then there's another basketball dude that has now gotten endorsement commercials and stuff out of it. So they're
on
literally
them, man.
they're
Yeah.
turning it into businesses.
Turn your trauma into money.
Yeah. But then again, sad because none of them can do
well,
it. now.
we had the fat guy, the magic fat guy,
Right?
Yeah.
Dennis Savaggio.
No idea.
I think that sounds right.
And-
He's an attorney here in town. I think he still does it, but he's lost weight because, it's healthier.
And he would just run up and down.
Yeah.
The
But he used to truffle shuffle a little more because he was a heavier guy.
Right.
So he would, be running around. If I remember, I could be wrong because, again, I was a kid. So I'm creating a memory in my mind. I used to think he would smush his belly around.
Yeah.
He may not have ever done
Or
that.
chunks.
Truffle shuffle in it. But he may not have done that.
He probably did a little,
I mean, you
if
can't.
you're a big guy, you're.
I mean, I go
squishing
for
your
the
belly.
low hanging flute. The low hanging flute.
That's what I call my D.
End on the joke.
So, bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha and Butler are here, and we will ease out of the show into some voicemails.
Okay.
We were watching some
Terrible things.
absolutely terrible videos during the break that we had absolutely no business watching. Pornography.
We need to do that BDM show for the holidays with our wives, and we need to.
You want to do it nude?
No,
Yeah.
That's what you were
Swap
getting
them.
to. I thought you wanted to do full on pornography.
No,
and I'll do the move.
Full
about-
bushes.
All right, say your full name, please, because I need this on record for that thing that we played before and after each one of these weird videos.
We need to explain to our wives about the world of pornography.
No, I'll never do that.
Why not?
I'll never join
Because
you. I'm
Do
just like
neither of
Luke Skywalker.
Do neither of your wives watch?
No.
I think my wife is watching, but it's
What does
On
she
the down
watch?
low?
Wait, she watches without you?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that
I don't
wouldn't
know.
happen in my house.
I'll ask her on the
I'm
BDM
kidding, I'm
show.
totally
but she mentioned searching love and
We're on the wrong website.
romantic. I'm like,
Oh.
you searched romantic on X videos.
This is sad, Tom. You got to give her some romance,
I'm gonna search
man.
hand kisses. Prince
No, but
kisses hand.
It just
Oh.
because she doesn't even. And then she's
Let's
like,
type in chivalry.
she's like, everything that comes up is like, why is it so horrible? And I'm like, you don't know.
I
That's-
could send her some sites.
I'll type
she
in.
doesn't know.
Let's type
'Cause
in
she's asked me.
manners. Oh, there's a very small man, looks like Howard Stern's Beetlejuice, spitting into somebody's mouth.
Oh,
Very odd.
Anyway,
I just like the ones where
you.
you have a girl who I don't know, eats something and then barfs it into a blender and then
Yeah,
blends it
no,
and eats it again.
come on.
Those those are the only ones I like. Let's go with for voicemails. Let's go with this one right here.
Hey guys, it's Steve from Winter Park. I was listening to ACT last week, and Tom mentioned that he doesn't feel comfortable using emojis. He thinks they're too cartoonish. But I will have you know that I'm pretty sure I financed my house through Streamline last December using nothing but fist bump and tip touch emojis with Brian Zymel.
I feel like we played this.
Oh, did we? We may have sent it to Brian, but
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how easy it is.
Yeah, Brian Zymel does use a lot of emojis.
I like it. It speeds things
thumbs up, fist bump, and then
It's just friendly.
I
If
know-
you would do it, at least I know you read what. Like if I'm
Right.
like help, I mean I need help. If you just give me a thumbs up or just give me the I don't know.
yeah.
Give me the indifferent guy. Give me the like I
Or
can't
get
help
the
you.
guy with the monocle.
First, it's hard for me to find those fast because I never use
It's
them.
one button.
Also, put your glasses on so you can see.
I think I text my wife thumbs up.
No, you
because
don't.
Wait,
because
you
I
write-
put it
You write out thumbs up.
Why wouldn't you
Yeah.
just say okay?
Yeah.
because it didn't warrant okay. It warranted a thumbs up because that also
and
means
she just means the two letters, not the word okay.
because
Right.
okay could come off passive aggressive. Like that's why
But writing
okay.
up the words thumbs up.
No, because the thumbs up means you're happy and it means you're giving someone praise for what they said or what just happened. An okay could be perceived as a D head.
You
like,
are-
okay, like you're
Okay.
you're dismissing them.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find the
um,
thumbs up, and I just
you do things that are very strange.
He needs to do ayahuasca, so his brain is
I
different.
rewire myself.
Like
A
just
lot.
to type out like so does your wife use emojis?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
the
all
time.
of us here use emojis except for you.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
like
Now, does anybody here? I know Travis is really good at it. Travis is really good at like if a message comes in, he'll either reply to that message using the new feature. You can hold it down and reply directly to somebody if it's in the
Right.
thread, or he'll give it like hold it down and give it like a heart or a thumbs
Yeah.
up to let you know. He doesn't have to reply fully. He's just acknowledging that he got your message. He's really good at that. You need to learn that one.
Hold on.
That's a time saver because it means I saw it and I agree.
You know what I'm mad at? I'm mad at the ability to laugh at a particular person's text.
Oh, you can do that now. Why? Are you mad because I don't laugh at your text?
No.
Because it gives you an extra notification.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not so. Okay. In this, Travis, get in here.
Oh, no. He's really good at it.
All he does is like your posts and your
take his
text.
compliment away.
On our group text that we have as a company.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind too that things might be a little bit different because Samantha has an Android phone.
That's true. I can't do this.
Right, so she can't do any of this.
But I can see you guys doing
right.
it.
It also kind of separates everything into much more like individual messages based on the fact that we don't all have the same platform.
So
not that I want you to change. I don't care. But
I've been meaning to yell about this, and I keep forgetting.
All right.
Quit.
Oh, well, that's what we need around here. More yelling.
Quit laughing at Daniel's group text.
Why?
Because
It's funny. It's a whimsical
Wait,
fun.
you're
I
yelling
laugh at
at him to
Butler.
quit laughing?
I laugh at Butler. What did you say the other day? You,
I don't care
put
what-
something in there and you gave like a heart.
Hey,
I was
listen,
like, ha-ha, and then
just laugh on your own time. Quit.
Whoa.
Okay, Captain No Fun.
Laugh on your own time.
No, I'm just saying, but no,
Damn.
because when you do that and you opt to laugh, which I don't even know how to do.
Oh,
but-
you must have been going crazy last night because I texted like 25 times.
Because then
were you freaking out?
No, it sends another notification
And
of the whole text.
Yeah, it repeats the entire text, and then it says, Travis Butler liked, and then it shows the whole text. It is annoying.
You keep doing it.
I'm
Travis.
a
I have
busy.
no problem.
No, hold on.
I have
I'm
zero intentions of stopping.
I'm
good.
busy. I'm busy.
I got you.
Now he's going to laugh react to everything.
So I never reply because it's mainly
I don't
garbage.
even know if you read
Oh,
it. Like,
yeah.
even
No, I
la-
do because I'm like, what is happening?
Last night was literally about what we were going to talk about
Yeah.
today on the show.
I
It's
just
not
wanted-
garbage.
I just
deemed
wanted
it
a thumbs up. Yeah, I just needed a
Our
thumbs
first
up.
guest, garbage.
I was like, all right, they'll work it out.
Yeah, I don't need to get
Good.
involved. Too many cooks. Too many cooks.
I was like, I'll game day. I'm ready. I don't need to
Jesus.
prepare.
I love my job, man. I swear to God, I love you guys.
So,
I'm
but
laughing
back
so
to
hard
laughing
right
at
now.
it. So, listen, I'll just assume you're laughing at Daniel because what he said was funny. So just
may
laugh
not
in your
have
own
been.
time. When you hit click on laughing, then all of a sudden I get a new notification and it looks long, and then I'm like, what is this? A long one? And then I'm like, oh God, it's the same damn thing Daniel said. Travis just like Travis laughed at this whole
Look
thing.
at that
And I'm
vein
like,
in that
oh,
forehead.
Hold on a second. There have been times when I've sent jokes that fell flat and nobody said a word.
You're right.
Yeah, just for the record, I'm thumbs upping every single post right
Oh,
now.
I hate the
God,
thumbs up.
yeah.
Don't laugh at it. Like, what
he's
are
the
you?
thumber now, not the
Because,
chopper.
because it's just, what is it for? Just so the person like
An
oh,
acknowledgement.
Well, just put a LOL like we used to do.
No, that's
I thought
too
we
much.
we no hold on, but no, that's less than I laughed at it because
I'll
the
send
whole
a cry a laughy emoji.
yes,
Yeah,
Samantha
yeah, yeah.
at least because then I can dismiss it faster. The problem
Oh,
with
Sam texted, dismiss.
well, all I'm saying is that when you
What is a long hair? Is that a woman? Now.
when you click the laugh option, it brings up the whole text again.
It's true, yeah.
And that's what confuses me because I see a long thing and then I'm like, oh, I got to read what is it? Oh, God, it's the same thing. And I get mad. And I do
I'm
it
just
every
happy
time.
you're actually reading our
I know.
text. You know,
Come
whether
on,
you're
no,
reading that or not.
But he gives us no reason to think that he's reading our text
Yeah.
because he's really secretly hiding in the bushes, reading our text, and I'm over there, Mr. Anxiety, worried that I was worried last night that I'd screwed up, and I did kind of. I booked something. And then I was like, oh, man, I might have to pivot a little bit on that. And all I wanted was my business partner to give me a reassuring pat on the forehead to say, hey, buddy.
Or type out thumbs
Yeah,
up.
it's going to be all right. And all I needed was you to give me a thumbs up or a heart or even a laugh just to let me know you're there.
But I didn't even
you
know when
were
you were-
there. You were hiding in the bush. It's the epitome. I feel like this is one of those things where it's like, where were you, Jesus? Why? I only saw one set of footprints. And you're like, I was there. You were just so down. I was carrying you, son.
No, you were carrying me.
You're heavy, Jesus.
I'm
Oh, my
lazy.
God.
I'm lazy, Jesus.
That's a shirt. Pabone.
Pabone,
But
lazy Jesus.
it's Daniel walking in the sand, carrying me.
Yes.
Big giant Jesus. Can't even carry it. I'm too weak. I'm a half man.
But like, and then I whisper, "This isn't helping you."
I was gonna save this for Friday, but I know we have a lot going on tomorrow, so I will leave it here. I have to be very careful what I say to my daughter from now on because I was talking to her Saturday morning, or talking to Andrea Saturday morning, and I was making jokes with Andrea about how she's kind of stuck with me, and I was like, "Wow, joke's on you. You're stuck with me now." You know, like couples do that. And I was doing like the old, like, "Oh, you're stuck with me now. You should have married a whole man. You know, you're stuck with a half man. That's all you got." And Maisie goes, "I like my daddy being a half man. I don't want a full-size daddy." She said that.
Oh, yeah.
She said that, and I was both completely embarrassed and crushed, and also pretty happy that she wanted a half-man daddy.
She's proud of her daddy.
She was proud of her daddy, but it was horribly insulting.
Now-
Horribly. At the same time, it was a world of emotion. I was just I almost passed out. It was just too much. Two different emotions.
Well, my sons will do that too, where they like are very protective of their mom and dad.
Yeah.
So then, if they overhear us telling any story about how someone is rude to Crystal, or like I'm telling a story here, but like all my employees think I'm an idiot.
We don't think you're an idiot.
I say that. Yeah. And they're
Now
like,
watch us play Minecraft.
And they get mad. They're like, what? And then
We don't think you're an idiot at all, Daddy. Hey, you want to invite the idiot to play Minecraft? Yeah, have him come over and sit and drink his White Claws.
they scream, "Oh, you're the only one!" And the fact that you're 5 and 6 makes it worse. Because you don't know, you're an idiot too.
Maisie tried to pull some stuff last night. I got mad at her. I go, "I know what you're doing." She's like, "How do you know that?" I go, "Because I am you. I've done all this."
Yeah. Although when our parents said that to us, I didn't believe it.
No, dumb old man. Yeah.
I was like, this person doesn't know me. And then you see, you're like, oh, yeah, I guess they do. But it's the same old process. And you don't realize it until you're old already.
Circle of life.
You mentioned Jesus. Well, we got a voicemail about Jesus.
Yo, BDM Neil here, checking in. You guys are talking about Jesus or whatever, and I am just like Daniel, only child, raised in the church, so on and so forth. And basically, you said, Tom, like towards the end of the episode was like teenage Jesus, and Daniel mentioned about like him flipping tables and stuff like that because he was like mad that they were like selling stuff in the church or whatever. There's another story because as I was raised in the church, and I happen to have a very good long-term memory or whatever, I don't know, whatever. But one of these stories of teenage Jesus was this kid fell off a roof and died, straight up died. And all the people, the parents, the whatever, they were like, "Oh my God, you pushed him off the roof and killed him. You're a murderer, whatever." And Jesus resurrected this kid and was like, "Yo, tell him I didn't murder you." And he was like, No, I fell off the roof and died. And yeah, like teenage Jesus was like angsty and like resurrected something.
Can you Google that? Because I
like
want to
tale?
I want to trust BDM Neil, but it's just his cadence, the number of ums, and I could hear the vape smoke just permeating the phone.
So Neil,
Jesus pushed a kid off the roof. He died.
No, he didn't. The kid fell off the roof
and died.
And then,
but Jesus apparently was up there smoking a pre-roll. And the kid fell off the roof. So Jesus is up there at the same time?
It was teenage Jesus, though, right? Wasn't he calling him teenage Jesus?
He called him teenage Jesus.
Yeah, this is true.
All right, so give us the...
And where is it? What?
Hold on.
Is this in the New Testament?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
Infancy Gospel
what
of
season
Thomas.
was this?
The Gospel of Thomas. What?
Because
Yes.
I think we've talked about how there's no stories about teenage Jesus.
The Infancy Gospel of Thomas is a biographical gospel about the childhood of Jesus, believed to date at the latest to the 2nd century. It does not form part of any biblical canon.
Oh, this is dumb. This is like the Surfer's Bible.
Oh, wait, is this Jesus fan fiction?
I don't know.
This is like when you make Justin Timberlake and Lance Bass make out because you just want them to be gay so
I think
bad,
I have the
right?
graphic novel of this.
Yeah.
So this is not
Jesus'
actually...
Red Son?
It's not in the Bible from what I can tell, but it is
in some sort of
like
religious...
a manuscript afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
So it's Bible.
It was a pilot that didn't get picked up.
It's thought to be Gnostic in origin. Later references referring to this infancy gospel.
No, but
Many
so the
modern
kid falls
scholars-
off and dies, and then everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is terrible!" And they're like, "Well, who was up there?" And then obviously they're like, "Well, Jesus is up there," and he's like, "Whoa, let's all calm down. Hold on a second." And he puts his hands on the kid, and he brings him back to life, and he's like, "Hey, tell these guys what happened." He's like, "Oh, I actually fell off the roof," and Jesus is like, "See, you're wasted my time."
Did Jesus have...
That's that. I don't know. That's what I'm envisioning.
Okay, wasn't there there's some super religious BDM that said he emailed us one time. He said he'll answer all the religious questions.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one. So when Jesus, they knew based on, we've talked about this before, like there was rumblings that Jesus was being born, the three wise men.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like,
Well, the king, it was, what was it, Herod? He wanted, so that's why they went and they were trying to take the sons, the firstborn.
So then, obviously, between that time and the time he was crucified, right, he had built up quite a following, I think, right? There was, you know, and that's why the Romans, I'm maybe butchering all this, but the Romans killed him because they didn't want him and didn't want the people to worship him.
Right.
So it's kind of like a cult following, obviously, you know. So did he have like a bunch of followers that were protecting him? Did the Romans have to like go into some sort of compound, like Koresh? You know what I'm saying? Like
no.
Or
he
did he
turn himself over?
Did he turn himself? Like, what about all the followers? They didn't try to save him or
he
fight
turned himself in.
You know what? Let's watch The Passion of the Christ on Twitch.
Doesn't Peter like kind of betray him? Right.
Yeah, he's got a Benedict Arnold.
Simon Peter betrays him, and then they find out
he didn't have any enforcers.
Didn't he get ratted out? I thought he got ratted out
by one of the disciples.
Yeah.
Simon Peter. He changed his name after he ratted.
At some point, they go to Mordor. I don't know.
Well, I mean, what about your followers? They believe you're God. Are they not going to fight for you, or like at least
not against soldiers?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're willing to take on the Roman army.
He brought a dead kid back to life in his teenage years. Why can't he do something cool
Yeah,
in his later years? Yeah,
a duke. Why can't he shoot
He's
some fire?
sacrificing himself for everybody else.
Well, no, hold on. Sacrificing yourself would be suicide. He was murdered.
Well,
by
but
the soldiers.
I'm saying if he was
He didn't
Jesus
nail
and could do
himself
all
there.
these miracles, he probably could have escaped, right?
Yeah. I guess, and then I guess he did the ultimate escape with came out of the tomb and all that whole thing. I'm just wondering why his followers
been haunting us ever since.
Didn't protect him in some way, the Koresh people, they were shooting at the ATF out the windows. You know, they were trying to defend.
Have you started watching Heaven's Gate yet?
No.
They get into a little bit of that towards the end.
Yeah, all your followers are supposed to protect you. Bye bye.